All right. What do you think? Thank you, Theo. Whoa! What in the heck is going on there? Somebody's going to pass it up. Fast Porsche. Is that a Porsche? Did you see her? You see that Porsche?
Yeah.
She just
driving by all week.
she floored it.
Yeah, no, she lives in the neighborhood.
Whoa! They worry about no parking, but they speed.
Well, hello,
They
come on
speed.
in.
The need for speed. I don't know. Who did this crime? Who did the crime? Good evening, everyone.
Oops. Hello. I was busy all day, so I'm catching up on about the
Out
last
here in
hour.
the
JLR,
cactus.
he had a couple of cool callers, and I guess someone got a hold of me today. Truth Warrior said that somebody this morning sounded exactly like me. It wasn't me, by the way. I was busy in a meeting, but apparently somebody.
Cheyenne Sexton 2215. I sent you an email with the video attached on the man stealing the dolly in the vicinity. Problem is, I don't know the date of the video. I'm going to screenshot this. If I can't find the video, Cheyenne, right now, let me see if I can find you. Hopefully you put it as Cheyenne, but I can check it later or resend the email and just say Cheyenne video dolly. But let me see if I can find it right now while we're on.
And I did plan on doing a nail project.
Scroll through.
While we catch up on the day's events.
Oh, I see it.
But I cannot find the phone that I use, my nail camera at the moment. So while we're catching up, I'm going to be looking for that. So just FYI, it is in the plans. I just don't know.
So it's just videos, more ring cameras of thefts. It appears more ring cameras of thefts in the area. I'll take a look at it, more vet it through, but it's just many series of videos of, stuff that happens in Tucson with the weird stuff, people creeping around. The thing about those ring videos and whatnot is a lot of stuff that happens to the south, right? With the ring videos of people like stealing things from people and creeping around and stuff. It seems like it's more down towards Tucson, where,
but it's not far.
It's not far. It's like 2 miles down the road. Or more.
It just progressively gets worse as you get into the city.
A lot of creepers, man. There's a lot of people that just like petty burglars, petty people. I just think there's more to this than just some petty thief, right? Some petty porch pirate person, or someone that steals somebody's scooter or someone's motorcycle or dolly or some sort of something, garden hose or something.
That's why the gem theory made really sense, because that's a lot of money, right? If you're gonna go do something like this, there's got to be a big score, right? Like, you're not gonna do it. You have to know.
Seashell. Hey, Seashell. Seashell wants to talk.
Hey, Missy is saying hi.
Hey, Jay, welcome in.
Oh, Missy, our Uber driver.
Hi, my man, Jerry. Welcome.
Hi, Missy, the Uber driver.
Thanks for the Uber.
I'm just catching up on the last hour of what's going on and getting my
thanks for the Uber
nail stuff ready.
All right, Seashell wants to talk. We have an individual named Seashell. Let me spin the camera around here. So it's...
And reason for calling. I'll see if this person is available.
Hey, Seashell.
Jason is not a suspect, guys.
No, Jason.
He is not a suspect.
Come on in, Seashell.
Thanks. Please.
Hi, Seashell.
Hi, JLR. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you? You doing good?
I'm doing great. I've been watching you forever, and
thank you,
just love your intellect. I just wanted to mention something that you had actually had a volunteer who came over to you one of the days that they met at the Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
And she had found a transmitter looking like device.
Yeah.
That looked like she thought media had dropped it.
Yeah, matter of fact, she's known as Arizona Searcher. I got her number here. Hold on. Let me hey, Arizona Searcher, if you're watching, Send me that picture, because I took a screenshot, but I took it on my other phone, so I can't show. But yeah, like a radio transponder type of thing that was found in the ditch, right? In the
Right.
yeah. So what it would
Yes. So my point is this whole thing about the if I'm saying it right, the signal jammer. When she showed the picture, and I'll have to go back through the videos as well. If you look at a signal jammer that is, that they have had on TV showing, it looked almost exactly like what she pulled out of the woods, thinking that the media dropped it. And they had said, I'm not sure where the correlation was or where the actual pinpoint was of it, but I thought it was somewhere behind Nancy's home where they were searching.
I would say it's about I would say the way she said it, it was about 2.5 miles away, 2.5 miles away, which is still the neighborhood technically. This neighborhood goes all the way to First Avenue.
Yes, exactly. So if they're in a rush and somehow dropped it, and we're thinking the media dropped it, I'm just wondering if that would be something that the FBI should be aware of, because it did look very similar to a jammer, and being when I'm thinking about the way you're saying it, it would be behind her house, and that's more likely where they say things may have happened to jam the house behind her, right? Is where the neighbor said that the dog got up and was barking, or wasn't a normal process for the dog wanting to go outside, and that their Wi-Fi had gone out. So I don't know where in proximity that is. I'm hoping, with you being more versed than I, if that would make sense in the area where she found it.
Yeah, so I just texted her and said, "Can you please send me the pic of the jammer so we can see the jammer?" So some people might not have been following the case at the time. This was the original stage step back at the Hobby Lobby search with a group of volunteers. They went out and found this in the wash. But yeah, you raise an interesting point. Could that have been the perps jammer, Wi-Fi jammer,
right? Which was
or walkie-talkie or something? I don't know what it was, but it was like. Well, I'm gonna get it. Yeah. She's gonna respond to me. It might not be now. It might be 5 minutes. It might be, but I'll definitely, if when I get the picture back, I'll definitely put it up on the screen and we'll analyze this.
And then one more thing today on Nancy Grace, they were talking about the tattoo, and they had a like a tattoo, professional. I don't know how you would say that, but somebody very versed with that as well, from New York, I believe, that had said that the actual tattoo that they looked at was like a grayish and a black tattoo. Like it could have been angels, or it could have been something about a cartel, somebody that had passed away, showing tribute to them. Somebody that was in jail for some time and then got out, and these are like jail tattoos.
So where was this tattoo located? On the face, on the hand?
Yeah, it was on the hand, on the wrist. It showed a little bit of this tattoo on Porch Man, whatever you want to call him. And it showed a little bit of tattoo, and they have like the FBI's looking into it. Nancy Grace has all of her expertise looking into it. And on today's program, she actually had a tattoo artist come and explain, like, where he thought it would have come from, what kind of tattoo artist would do this. And he had stated, like, from the southern part of Mexico, and he named a couple of different regions where they're more prevalent. And so I thought that was pretty interesting, where the cartel is kind of getting pulled back into it again. Mm-hmm. And
or it could be somebody from south of the border that made their way up to America and has been living in the United States for quite some time, or short time, but originally from, south of the border.
Yeah.
Or maybe you came to the United States at one point, went through the prison system, maybe.
That's what I think, because the more time you spend in a jail, what they were saying was that's the kind of ink that they use because it's kind of like a watered down ink, and and whatever tattoo he had was paying like tribute. They were trying to figure out if it starts with the wrist and it goes up the sleeve, and that's why he was so covered up like around his neck, because those, I don't want to say those type of people, because I love tattoos too, but in that type of situation, that would be, also common for Cartel and wanting to be known or recognized.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, that's interesting. No, but I will definitely. Well, if someone could send me the actual clear shot of the tattoo, did they get it really good that you could see it, or what's going on? Because I've seen something that looks fainted, but I really never seen it really defined everything. I haven't had enough time to zeroing in on the perp and everything like that. Some people say the perp has a bump on his eye and different things. Other people think the perp's bald headed, or with the way the mask is into the face.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of things that people are trying to analyze on that, but I didn't really definitively see a tattoo on the wrist. But if anyone has it, send it to me. We'll put it up on the screen of the tattoo, and it could have some sort of meaning to it.
Yeah, and you speaking of the thing on the eye or the face, they did say that a lot of times that they have some kind of teardrop or some kind of markings on their face denoting what they've done, or
body counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Teardrops,
so
bodies.
That's right. That's what they were saying. So they thought that there was something in conjunction with that too, that's the reason why the face was covered as much as it was, and probably one or two or three more layers, so you couldn't really see anything through it. So it was on Nancy Grace, so I will pull that and send you the actual, I'll do a snippet of it and I'll send it to you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Seashell. Thank you. And
thank you so much.
We'll put it on, and I'm trying to. Okay, wait, hold on a second. I got a response by Arizona Searcher. It's some type of two-way adapter for streaming, which makes me think it was.
I haven't been watching
for the news
everything
crew rather
because
than a
it's
jammer.
just everybody seems to.
I believe it's something the news crew dropped, but it was in a wash nearby. It was submitted to detectives.
Oh, good.
That's the response I got. Let me see. Can
is it Janice? I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any previews or anything today. I
say the magic word, please.
Wanted to see. I hurried up and got on here to see if there was
But
anything
if
new.
you're not on this call, Seashell, I'll try to get this device thing that she thinks it was the news crew, but she handed it in.
When we saw that first picture,
now whether they take that seriously,
was that right on the wrist.
Some things call the authorities, they don't even care. We've heard people find things.
But yeah, man, Jerry, nobody knows anything. It's just everybody's, conjecture their theories and.
Come to head, and they're like, oh yeah, we did have that the whole entire time, or it's just now, they're just now figuring it out. But I personally don't think Tommaso or Annie had anything to do with it, because it just seems to be a lot higher of a stake. As we thought it was more simple at the beginning, seems to be a little bit more complicated. When you get into like the dum-dum in the front, I think he's just the guy that is the dum-dum, and the person behind, or wherever, they're not smart enough to be on camera. I think that's the brains of the operation, and whatever happened at that point, I just think it's much bigger than what we think, and I just don't think, Tommaso, anybody just wanting money, it's not going to be that complicated, and I think that they would be able to figure it out fairly quickly.
I appreciate the call. If they say the pick's on the way, I wanted it to be on while the pick is on the way. So maybe get the pick shortly. So, stay tuned, and once the pick comes, I'll share it on the chat.
All right, JLR.
Sorry, I forget about that. No, I was just saying is basically, it's just theories. There's nothing new. There's no new news. There's nothing. It's day 39, I think. And at this point, I click on because I like the sunsets and all that stuff. I was just listening on to see what there was one caller that
going through her phone or going through.
I did want to hear but she was talking about. Let me see if I can find her.
My site. I should get back to you within 24 hours on that item here. Open the door.
And they don't want to tip their hand in some way. That's number one.
Showing that.
There, I'll mute it and we can watch the sunset because that is pretty. I have to admit that. And thank you, my man Jerry. Yeah, no, that's just it. There's nothing at this point. I mean, it's just everybody's theories and ideas, and there's no new evidence that I've seen or heard of. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I guess Ashley Banfield yesterday, either yesterday or this morning, had an episode where that's what this caller had been talking about, was that it was another kidnapping case of a lady named Nancy too, I guess. I don't remember where it was out of, but she was found like 4 or 5 months later, and it ended up being someone that worked for her that had come to the house to do some work, and she had made him lunch or something like that, a sandwich, and he took it as she was hitting on him, and he came back and kidnapped her and took her life. He was obsessed with her. So, it goes back to that same old theory too, was it something like that? Someone did some work on her property, and she maybe it was someone that knew that was Savannah's mom, maybe somebody that was obsessed with Savannah, and that's the one way to hurt her. She was all over the place talking about how her mom was her greatest gift. She loved her so much. So if you want to hurt somebody, what do? You go after their most precious thing. So I just wonder if it's something like that. But I don't think it's anything that's going to get, at this point, it's not going to get solved quickly. And we're probably not going to hear much of anything except for, interviews from FBI agents that are watching the same stuff that we are, and, retired experts and things like that. And eventually it's going to dwizzle off, and there's going to be some other big case that everybody's going to jump on. And well, I think it's the least what do I want to say? It's the least controversial thing going on right now. And I think, but even that, I haven't really seen, other than, we've got like Ashley Banfield and Brian Enton and stuff like that, but I've been seeing a lot of streamers talking about other stuff. They're talking about the war, they're talking about Epstein, they're talking about other stuff. Yeah, I think it's just they're waiting for some big, not a lot of people want to even go near and deal with the Epstein thing. The war is really hard to cover because I think if you show that you're for a certain side, they won't get the views. And I think people are kind of wanting to get away from all that stuff. And so they use a case like this to kind of escape from the reality of what's going on around us. I mean, it's, I keep reading every day. This is scary. Sleeper cells and stuff like that. I mean, now one thing I did hear this morning was, hang on a second. I can't remember where I heard this, who I was watching, but in that Monique and Spencer Tepe murder, they found out more details now about that doctor, about what had happened to them, and they were shot so many times. I mean, it just sounds like he was just, but that brings me back as I'm listening to that, I'm thinking that was almost 10 years that this guy sat and stewed and was angry and was mad because the woman that he wanted wouldn't be his. That's all it was about, is that he believed that she was his, and he was angry at both of them. Well, and that's, I think it's, you even look at like when you look at some of the bigger channels' views, you can tell that people are not, they're just not, it doesn't mean they don't care, they're just not as interested anymore. I mean, how much can you talk about something that you have absolutely no facts about anymore? It's, I mean, there are some people that want to keep talking about it, and I've said I'm going to still keep my eyes and ears out, all of that, because you never know. I mean, we might wake up one morning and boom, she's been found. But there's lots of other stuff going on too that deserves attention, and really, I think, I mean, the only people I'm seeing out there, like when I do click in and check, is, except Brian Enton, you've got John DePietro, I probably just said his name wrong, 857 Tucson, but he lives out there. Did I say JLR already? I might have, I don't remember. But Dad's Gone Live, and that Mark the Shark, I think his name is. Like, that's really it. And I did see, that's something. After this is done, I do want to rewind, because I did think this was kind of interesting. Today, a white car pulled in, thought to be probably Annie. Because I guess she either did get her car back, or she is getting her car back, that they had like completely taken it apart to look for everything, because it was the last vehicle that Nancy was reported to have been in. But she was seen pulling in, and then her car left, and then Nancy's car pulled out of the driveway and left. And I thought they said it was Cameron. Well, see, that's it. NBC isn't really, that I've seen. I mean, like I said, I don't know. My kids gotten on my phone the past couple days, so my algorithm got a little messed up. But I haven't seen anything from NBC. And yeah, that's her network. So yeah, they should, you would think. But it's sad, but everybody's got to get, it happens in every single case that doesn't get solved right away. And everybody just has to kind of start to return to some normalcy, and whatever that is. I don't know what normalcy is. I don't know what my life is. My life is anything but normal. Just a second. And I did find out, that's something else. I did find out more information about that young man that was missing out of Marquette. Is they did, I have a timeline thing that I'll share on my community tab later, but they did find near that bridge footprints in the snow on the ice. So there was a there was someone in here the other night that was, saying, why isn't he getting this attention? Why did they stop the search for him so soon? Because I think, sadly, we know what happened to, not for fact, but it sounds like it's pretty much that he was inebriated, like most college students are on a weekend, walking home in a blizzard and got lost. Probably didn't even know he was on the ice. That's one of the huge issues in Michigan in the winter, is sometimes people, if they're not real familiar with the terrain, or again, inebriated, so not really seeing clearly. And it's hard to see because they literally got feet of snow in that blizzard. That he most likely fell through the ice. And so even though there were divers out there, it's cold, and they're not gonna, and everything's frozen. They're probably in the spring, they'll probably figure out exactly what happened to them. That's usually what happens to a lot of people up there. Just a second. So I'm trying to do two things at once, and that never works out well for me. So here we go. But really, that's all that's happened, is that, and everybody was kind of freaking out about why he would be taking her car. But I do know that did bring up something, though, is that, and I kind of felt bad. Well, not kind of, I did feel bad. Was someone there? Like, did they just somehow sneak in before the streamers got there this morning? Which usually there's someone there almost 24 hours a day. Or was he staying in the house, at least maybe for the last week, like since the sheriff and everything wasn't there? We haven't seen hide nor hair of him. And I just thought, could you imagine if you were in there stuck in the house and you couldn't go out? So you had to be careful. You had to make sure there was nobody around just to walk outside or something like that. So I thought, gosh, I can't imagine going through this. And while you want the attention because you want her face to be seen and you want her to be found, you want everybody that possibly can to be looking for her, you also want privacy to be able to deal with this too. And it doesn't, you have to be a double-edged sword. Okay, hang on one second. I'm gonna mute because I'm gonna bang around because I'm setting up the clock cam. So I'll unmute him real quick in case he says anything earth-shattering.
Appreciate each and every one of you, for real. Well, let's just sit and talk before we end the stream. I gotta move this down. Let's have a conversation, because I am tremendously grateful for all of you in the chat, as we are in this together. I could not do this without all of you, and you guys are the fuel, the motivation. You guys are, because it just shows how much people care. Seriously, it shows how many people care about this case. Normally, under normal circumstances, we've never been to a location on a particular topic so long, and we want to know what's going on. But one of the factors of me still being here is thousands and thousands of people that stop by each day and share their thoughts. It's just so many people, care. I want to know what happened here. Like, what happened at this house? Like, what happened? Did something really happen? Is there something off with the timeline, the chain of events? Who did this crime? Literally, who did this crime? Like, what did we just say? Okay, we spent 30 days of our lives just to say, well, we'll just wait and just go about our lives. We're glued in this. We want to know the next steps. We want to know what happens next, what direction they go. A clue. We just want a clue, something. I think they owe it to us. They put the information out. People are want to see this case, and feel for Nancy and Guthrie family, and everyone has a grandmother or a mother, or had one. And it's like, what the heck happened here? Because we got to know, is this a sicko, a weirdo, a wackadoodle, has no connection to the family whatsoever and just targeted Nancy for some sick reason? Well, if that's the case, then, you know, this could happen to any one of us. But even if it was a targeted attack centered around someone around the family or someone close to the family or someone within that inner circle, that can happen to any of us too. You could be a target by someone nefarious. You, me, all of us. This could happen to any one of us. Male, female, grandmother, grandfather, child. It's crazy. The pure terror of being literally in your bed, in your sleep. You're at your most vulnerable time. If all the vulnerable times in your life that you go through each day, your most vulnerable is when you're in your bed, sleeping at night. Because it's your sanctuary, it's your safe space, it's your cocoon, it's your place that you have memories and sweet dreams and a place you lay your head so you can function, get some rest, so you can get up each day and do what you do and whatever you're into. And for someone to snatch you from your own bed is the worst.
Sorry about the echo.
It's horrible. You want to be in peace. You want to be in your bed. Like, I love my bed. I love my pillows. And I love my sheets and my comforter and everything. It's soft. I can't imagine a masked man standing over you and taking you and forcing you out of your, or doing harm to you. Most likely it causes you to bleed or whatever like that, to tear it with a gun or weapon and force you out of your own home. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's terrifying. It's terror. It's like a nightmare. It's like literally the scary movie coming at you in real life. I can't imagine. I lock my doors at night. I take safety precautions. My sliding glass door locked. Cameras. My own cat sleeps with me. You know why my cat sleeps with me? I learned because cats feel safe with their humans and they sleep in the bond because they feel vulnerable at night. They want to be the most safest spot. And usually it's their caregiver, their owner, the cats, dogs. They sleep with you. Some of them. Some people, they might not, but it's crazy. It's crazy that somebody would go inside their house and do this to somebody. If that indeed happened here, and we want to think that happened, but who knows what happened? Who knows what really happened? I mean, you know, there could be some plot twist to this. Something that comes out. I'm like, oh my God, we were misled. Timeline all wacky. But let's just go with the assumption she was taken out of her bed like Savannah and the sheriff has stated. They stated it. Those two must know. They must have evidence. That is bonkers. Literally. Your own home. Like, this is your home, ladies and gentlemen. This is your spot, right? Your own home, your safe spot. Targeted, man. It's sick. And we've had some cases over the years where homeowners be home and some burglar will be busting in there or sneaking in, and they're in their hallway and homeowners have to pull their gun out.
Oh yeah.
And eliminate the threat or chase some wackadoodle out. There's been cases where women were sleeping and there's like strangers of naked men standing on top of them.
Oh yeah.
When they're sleeping, and they just break in and they're sickos. It's crazy. You lock your doors all you want, but people have this type of technology that can still keep in. It's almost like your home isn't safe proof, even though you think it's safe proof. By having them
Truth Warrior, good to see you. I'm getting all my claw stuff ready, so I muted, so I'm not banging in your guys' ears.
But if
you absolutely, my man Jerry, absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, to add up, make sure you get some for your neighbors too. Just offer them the neighbors, because that added level of protection. If you're into guns, now everyone's not into guns. If you're into guns, you know, maybe arm, have some weaponry around, mace, stun gun.
Dogs?
Have a lifeline, have a life alert. Like if you're elderly, have a life alert.
I mean, if
dog.
she had a dog with this, you know.
Hi, Erica. Welcome.
Dog would go.
Don't forget to hit the
like,
like,
still
you
not
guys,
stop
as
the
you
perp,
in.
if the perp was on a mission, the perp's going to be on a mission. People are on a mission, they're on a mission.
Yeah, but
dogs are the turn.
No, it is. I mean, that's why I posted, hey, go to adopt a dog at the adoption place, you know, the local city adoption. If I think that could help.
But we learn from these cases. We learn. Catalina Foothills, a community where people are literally walking around with their pets. Sorry, people are walking around with their pets and animals and just enjoying and jogging and stuff like that. No one would suspect an 84-year-old person to be snatched in a safe place with no crime.
Yes, I did see part of that. I want to find that. I want to watch that again. I still can't find that picture. I'm gonna go through my one live tomorrow and see if I can find it. The picture of the rug and the comforter.
They've been here since day one. I've been seeing them every day.
Any final parting words, 857 today? And I appreciate you out here each and every day doing your thing. And
I appreciate
you know, he does a lot, man. He does a lot. He's always asking me if you need anything, whatever, and going out there and getting things, coming by. And I enjoy 857's company because it's hard to be out here alone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm solo, right? Sometimes I like to be solo, but a lot of times I enjoy all of your company and everybody around me because, you know, you only can talk so much. 12 hours to talk alone.
The callers, a lot of people like them, but I think the callers bring a lot, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting at home and now they can, hey, I can get my opinion out. I mean, as much as they want to hear what we have to say and you know, your expertise, so I think you doing that is really bringing the people. It's a community you have here. As much as we have hope every day, it's also a community that have lots of knowledge. I mean, we have Dr. Q calling in. We got all these people, nurses. We got the 12 nurses. All these people that want to help and have that love in their heart to see this to the end with us. And here we are. We're on the ground, but they're helping us. You know, you thought, hey, do I go home? And then you got 10,000 people saying, no, stay. The media left. Hopefully the pressure with us saying, hey, Nanos, just give us a bone. Can you release just one piece of info? Do something so we feel like that you hear us. And it's all over the world. I mean, there's people all over the world asking, why isn't the sheriff? Why aren't authorities at least just having a press conference? So that's where I'm at today is
yeah, I don't either. That's what I was looking for. So it's got to be like flipped around maybe.
Right?
This is Eat, Sleep, Talk, Nancy Guthrie. That's all it's been. That's all it's been. Like, I literally put everything aside, and you know, this is for all of us. This is you all are through this, and you know, there might be a time I leave, folks, because this thing. But I want everyone to really go over there and subscribe to his YouTube channel, 857 Tucson, because you know, he might be the last man here. He's here. He can be here. So, you know, hopefully if I might go at one point and he's going to be out here and he's going to be, you know, sharing when something pops off. We have to rely on him until I get back out here, whatever, you know, but please go to his channel, hope, you know, at least subscribe to him, at least so you know what's going on with this, because something might break here. And, you know, there might be a point I go home, you know, I'm not saying I'm not going home. I'm be here through next week.
Yeah.
So I'm here, but there might be a time, you know, it starts getting 90, 100 and,
well, you can get on a plane and be here in 6 hours.
But that's the thing. Then that's the thing too. And you know, I talked to Enton a little bit, and me and Enton are 100% cool. Actually, Enton got my vehicle yesterday, and I took him to his vehicle. So me and Enton really cool. And you know, I was talking to Enton. I'm not gonna say everything we talked about. But Enton came with a suggestion to me, and he said, you know, at one point you might have to go home, but just come back. He said, like, literally. Like,
I just loaded up Enton's video too, so we can
jump on a
check
plane
that out.
right back.
Because that's going to start the whole other thing.
And that's what Enton might do too. Like, Enton might be in a situation where he might end up going too, because I call Enton the goat of true crime. But he might have to go too, and he might go soon too, but he will be back. Come back, jump on a plane, right?
Where's his headquarters out of? New York or is it LA?
He's a Floridian.
Floridian?
Yeah, he's a Floridian.
Oh, wow, okay.
Floridian. It's a little bit hard to get here from Florida, but we can get here in 9 hours. You can't get here direct, which sucks. But you actually could. Where I'm at, you go to Phoenix, but then you have to drive.
Yeah. Well, it is cheaper probably if you fly into Phoenix. And
No, it's
Tucson.
actually cheaper here.
Really? Wow.
From where I'm at. But Phoenix can get you here in 5. Well, it would be 6 hours because you would have to do the drive and everything like that. But we're within a half a day of getting back here, which I will vow to all of you. If I end up going, I do want to cover this. We could just keep the house up and do streams, or he'd be out here, we restream him and keep the conversation going and just do call-ins and wait and discuss. But if the perp comes, I can 100% guarantee I'm coming back. I'm coming back, and we'll learn everything we have to do. But in the meantime, the local media might be already honing in on the perp and going to the perp's house and everything like that. But we want to know the perp's yearbook pictures, who's the perp, how he grew up, where he went to high school, who his family is, where he worked, everything about the perp, all his contacts, his likes,
Everybody's got their own reason, that they're hooked on this, and that's it. If it was, maybe it's people that are really big fans of Savannah's, people that are just true crime. But yeah, I mean, and I do think he really cares. I do. But yeah, I mean, they're not out there. They wouldn't be out there this long for free, I don't think either. But so I see where you're coming from.
Likes, all that. We want to know everything about the perp, because it does turn into about the perp. And that's what we do on this channel. I know we make it about the victim, but we also want to know about the person that did this. And then, like,
or is it multiple people?
If it's multiple people, we'll be back for that. In the court proceedings, at least the very first front court proceedings, usually perps with like this. I don't know if they go to trial or not. Depends on how much evidence they got.
Well, we think it would be a federal case, or would it be? It all depends, huh?
I don't know.
Whatever they decide at that point.
Could be one. Got the comment here. Question: what security cameras does the chat recommend? Thank you. Hey, Lars Musing says, what security? I have Ring.
I have Wise.
You have Wise? I have Ring.
Yeah.
So I like Ring, but you have to use like lithium batteries. You got to get subscriptions, like $120 a year. It's not bad. Hook it up to your phone. You can zero it out to the street if you want. I know people are saying Blink, Ring. I like Ring. I think the Ring ones come up. They'll give you like a block of 5 of them. You get more, whatever. You could program it to do your street, but I wouldn't recommend do the street, because every time something comes by, you're boop, 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 it notifies, plus it drains your battery. You're actually paying more in a year on the lithium batteries on a Ring than you are in the subscription service, or pretty much the same. So you've got to figure.
Which is the cheapest, though? Is Nest the cheapest? Or Nest is pretty expensive.
I don't know anything about Nest.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ring.
What's Blink?
It's the same thing. Wise, Blink, Ring. I'm sure there's 20 more too.
You go to ADT and you have the the security systems, but for $250, I'd say for $250 a year with the subscription and the batteries, you're set. So $250, I think that's worth it. If it's like a policy, like a life insurance policy, $250 a year. So most of y'all can afford $250 a year.
Well, and it's cool too. If you get different cameras, you can log in and you got 4 different cameras. You're watching the back, you're watching the front.
I have them all corners, and you're going to be filmed if you come. See, here's the thing about it is, and it's somebody with me, and I, in this line of work, I get threats. I get email threats telling me my address, doxing me, saying they're going to come and do this and whatever. Yeah. Okay, whatever. You're going to come, you're just going to be on camera. And 1, I press charges. And 2, if someone comes and does anything to my home, you're going to be seen and you're going to be put on JLR Investigative. We're going to try to identify you. And so it'd be a dumb move for someone to do that. It's stupid. My neighbors will catch you too. But I like Ring. It's pretty cool. I get all these little animals, like these other cats that come around. I've had like foxes come around.
You got foxes?
I had an alligator. Florida? I had an alligator caught on my because I live in water, so the alligators come up. I had an alligator come up on my ring.
You got iguanas out there too?
I do have a thought on that. As I'm thinking maybe because of the kids wanting to get back home, get back to school, getting some kind of normalcy. And there's not, at this point, at day 39, there's not really a lot that you can do. But I don't know if it would be extremely hard for me to leave not knowing where my mom was.
Or a dog, smile, we got guns, whether some people support guns and not on the chat.
It definitely would.
Armed, beware, armed. I'm locked and loaded, or there's those signs that say I shoot first, they had questions later, because the signs could be a deterrence.
Because if the neighbors, there's like the neighborhood groups. Do you have that? Where anywhere around your house you get a notification if somebody posts something?
Yeah. There's Facebook groups with notifications and stuff that it's neighborhood crime watches. The Facebook groups, they have like, oh, I seen a suspicious person today, whatever, like
next
that.
door.
Yeah, but that's usually after the fact, though. Whoa,
that was crazy.
What's going on there? But yeah, we got to learn from these cases, right? And improvise and be the best we can be and protect
I do work hard for my money. I like that song, by the way.
Neighbors protect each other.
And
from this,
I'm gonna date myself, but I had that tape, just so you know, my man Jerry. Erica, I am just prepping my nails because I lost one the other day, and so I'm gonna prep them and get them filled. I told Driver I wouldn't be on super late tonight because we have started watching this show called Beauty. Just the season finale. It's on Hulu, and the season finale already came on. It's on Fox on Hulu, I think. But it is so good, so good. So yeah, I'm thinking it probably has to do with kids getting back to being with their kids and like school and stuff like that. That was my thought. I have weeks like that. This is still that original set. I just keep putting acrylic on them and now filling them in, and like I said, I did lose that one, but I've been packing boxes and doing all that stuff, and so Savannah, she went back because she went back to New York. She left. Oh, you probably couldn't see because you fell out. Here, I'll put it. That was her comment. I forget you can't always go back and see
what they're all going through. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. We all have or had a mother or grandmother, grandfather, grandpa, or a loved one. All the victims out there that in the situation. Hang in there.
I've done that so many times.
Keep praying. And thank all of you for continuing to keep the light out there in darkness. All right, folks. I'm JLR Investigates, boots on the ground. Done for the night. If anything else breaks, you will hear it here on JLR Investigates. Let's hope the perp gets caught. I'd love to come back. I want to come back. Come back live. Breaking news. Suspect caught. Rest. SWAT. Something. I want to come back. Like, I'm ready. We're ready. All I need is to charge up my phone a little bit. All right, we cover breaking news, true crime, 24/7, 365 on the channel. See you later, folks. Be back first thing, first light tomorrow for sure. And we'll start again. We'll do the calls, and we'll see what pops up with this case. Hopefully overnight we get new information. Y'all have a good night. We will talk soon. Thank you, everyone that contributed. Your support helps us do what we do on this channel. Very grateful. We are the JLR Army Strong. Justice for Nancy. Have a good night. See you soon, folks. Good night.
So yeah, they've got to go home sometime. Yeah, it's gotta be so hard too. That's why I'm so glad that I got to be close to my mom, live close to her, and by the way, I have been, because of the weather change, I've been coughing horribly. So I got my old cinnamon buttons out again. So forgive me if you hear anything clanking around in my mouth. That's what it is. Let me. Oh, I feel good. I've just got all this, like, I just keep coughing and sneezing, and for whatever reason, I keep sneezing when I'm like about ready to take a left turn across a busy road. It's never when it's convenient. So I'll finish zipping these off and then we'll listen to him. And you know, if you're new here, I have to pause and say stuff for fair use. So, oh, also disclaimer: I am not Brian Enton.
Checking out my show, I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. I appreciate all the support. It is now day 39 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. I'm still here in Arizona. I'm actually in downtown Tucson right now. This is the courthouse here. Been trying to check into some of these search warrants. I've been told that there are search warrants connected to the case, especially when you think back to some of the raids that we saw. The first one.
I'm very sorry to disappoint you. I am in fact not Brian Enton or JLR.
One near the border with Mexico, the other one that was closer to the Nancy's house with those two individuals who were detained. So I've been trying to get my hands on those search warrants because once we get those, we will really be able to see what prosecutors, what investigators had to justify the searches. But so far, from what I can tell, they're still sealed, and even the lawyers representing those who were detained are also saying that they haven't been able to get their hands on them. But I was just downtown kind of looking into that. But I've got a lot to get to in this episode.
I'm so very sorry. Although, I've been having extremely bad hair week so far. And I'm digging his haircut and I'm about ready to go there. So just FYI.
So first of all, just like this heartbreaking video of Nancy Guthrie that has now come out from more than 10 years ago. It's a Today Show segment. She actually taped it in her bedroom, which is just kind of creepy in a way that it's in her bedroom in light of everything that we know happened now.
Okay, so we're talking about they didn't see a sliding glass door. So, the picture that I saw, the end of the bed would have been coming from the right side of the door. So, and this video right here is flipped from the video that I saw on, I thought it was Megyn Kelly. J for Justice did a short. And I swear, I think it was J for Justice that did it. I'm going to look. Because the video was flipped around. And I kept thinking that doesn't make sense. Because that window was on the right side of the screen. Yeah, I cannot remember who posted the picture. But it's in one of my lives. This is one of the nights we were going through X and looking for all this stuff, and for the life of me I cannot remember which one it is, but it was one of the ones when the FBI agents yeah. And so if this is the actual, now that I'm seeing this, if this is the actual setup of the room, then that slider door would be on the right side of the view of the bed. And the comforter would have been at the end of the bed, fallen on the floor, on the blue and white rug that was right in front of the door. And I think that's what we played, because I thought we were watching everything live that day. It's probably one of the long lives, so it's going to take forever to find. But if you don't find it before tomorrow, then when I've got time tomorrow, I'll come down here on the computer and use the mouse to find it, because I know it's driving me nuts. It's driving me crazy.
But also, it just shows what a wonderful woman she is, and I don't want to lose track of that. So I'm going to show you guys that and kind of talk a little bit about it in this episode. Also, a lot of questions about Annie Guthrie's car. Remember, It was taken by police for processing. It has still not been returned, and I've got the latest on that and why that may be, which I'm going to get into in this episode. And then, one thing that has troubled me with this case, and I think is one of the reasons that a lot of us feel so passionate about it, is just because a lot of us have either parents or grandparents that we worry about, that we take care of, that have caretakers, that we just get concerned about, people we don't trust.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying, like, to my man Jerry. I think, like, that's my reason. Like, I kept thinking about my mother and being alone at night, and that's, I think, why I got so interested in this case, and just wanting to see it through, that she gets found, Yeah, and it was just, like I said, it was just a quick thing, but it's on one of the lives where I think it's like it'd be like under 5 hours, because it would have been one of the days that I hurried up and jumped on, because all of a sudden there was all this FBI activity at the house. And I think that that's the live that it's in, is the one where all of a sudden, like the very last time that all the FBI agents showed up and they had the drones and everything like that out. Yeah, and see, I can't remember either. I saw a still photo of it. That's how I saw it.
Going in and out of their home. So I'm going to talk to Maureen O'Connell, our retired FBI agent, about that. Some of you guys were asking me, like, what are some tips? Like, what do we do to make sure that our parents stay safe, that our grandparents stay safe with all of these helpers around? And Maureen is literally the perfect person for that. So I'm going to talk to her about that. And then also some new information. There's been this controversy with the sheriff here in Pima County about his resume. Kind of mentioned it the other day, but there were some errors in his resume that have now come out. A local newspaper did a big story on it. The sheriff is now reacting. So I'll get into all of it in this episode.
Errors? You don't say.
Go to Brian Ensign Investigative. All right, hey guys. Yeah, so I'm in downtown Tucson today, which is actually pretty cool in some parts. I spent a lot of time here over the last month just since I've been here. It's like 20 minutes from Nancy Guthrie's house. She kind of lives outside of town, obviously up near the foothills. But it's like everything feels like it's 20 minutes in Tucson. And that's funny. Some of the locals have told me that too. Like, it takes 20 minutes to get everywhere in Tucson. But a lot to get to in this episode.
That's what I'm thinking too, because he started out, I thought, in corrections. And I don't know. I'm not sure if they go to academy or not to be in corrections. Or if corrections has like their own kind of like training academy. But I thought that early on I had read that he started out in corrections.
So I wanted to start though with this clip, and I don't know why it really, it made me feel emotional seeing it. Because we had all seen the recent clip when Savannah Guthrie went around Tucson with her mom. It was like this whole Today Show coming back to Tucson segment. And that one's gone pretty viral since Nancy went missing. And I told you guys, I even went back to some of the places that they visited, like the Mexican restaurant, and I was told that the FBI has even been there sort of investigating because they went there as part of that segment. And at the Mexican restaurant, they were telling me that the FBI came by and said, was there anyone here who looked suspicious when Savannah was here filming with her mom? Anyone who wanted to take pictures, or who got angry, or who was lingering around in a creepy way? So I know that was part of the investigation. And that clip, again, I think we've all seen by now, that recent clip where she went through Tucson with her mom. But there's this clip, it's from, I wrote it down, it's from 2013. So this was a while ago. This is more than, 10.
I wondered about that too. Was it somebody that maybe they saw them in the restaurant or something like that? But it says this is from like 2019. But that's the thing. Like I was talking about the Tepe murder. it was almost 10 years and he still was that angry and that mad to come back and just slaughter them, basically, with their children in the house. I mean, crazy people do crazy things.
And years ago, again from the Today Show, though, where Savannah had her mom on, and it's just so weird because the clip is actually shot in her mom's bedroom, and she was still in that. I mean, she was in that house since the 90s. So, you know, it's the same bedroom that she was, you know, likely abducted from. And she is kind of showing how to make a bed, but it's just, I don't know, you guys will watch it right now.
Oh, 2013. Okay. But still, it was, I think, what did they say? It was like 2017 or 2016 that Dr. Death, when they divorced, he's still like just psychopathic. That's just terrifying to think. And you may never know that somebody's literally sitting there watching you with that contempt.
It just shows what a wonderful woman she is, I think, and the relationship that she had with Savannah. And I just wanted to kind of play the full thing for you guys, because I think sometimes I at least get so wrapped up in the investigation that I lose track of sometimes the human side of it, just by nature of like running around all day. And then I see something like this and it just really hits home. So take a look at this.
My mom is up early in Tucson, Arizona. Nancy Guthrie joins us now. Hi, Mom. Good morning.
Hi, Savannah.
Well,
Hi, everybody.
I see that you've already made your bed, even though it's 3 a.m. there or whatever.
Exactly.
Mom, why was this an important skill to teach me?
Well, I think everybody needs to know how to make a bed. And so when the time came to teach you guys how to make a bed, this is what I tried to teach you
Now,
anyway.
this is not just your standard bed making. This is the hospital corners bed making. We're talking you can bounce a quarter off of it, right, Nancy?
Now, that's something I was taught growing up, is every morning get up and make your bed because it starts your day out. That's how you start your day, productive. But she does and my dad was in the military, and he used to show me these tight hospital corners, these tight bunk corners. And I just remember him literally bouncing a quarter on the bed to see if it was tight enough after I got done changing sheets.
Natalie, don't put me to the test. It's way too early.
She's backing off. Nancy, I just want to know how difficult Savannah was when you tried to teach her this, how much screaming and stomping her feet was involved.
All three of the kids thought it was a really worthless skill.
Oh, yeah, nice.
But to this day, you make your bed exactly this way, don't you?
Well, I don't make my bed, technically. You know, I just gotta leave it.
That's a legal term.
Are there bed elves that come in?
No, I mean, I'm a little intermittent, and sometimes I just shove the sheets and throw the comforter over it. Mom, You're not listening to this, right? But if I had to, in a pinch, make a hospital bed, I think I could because of this delightful skill that my mom.
I think you can't have an organized mind if you don't have an organized bed.
You already get a good start to the day.
Yeah, so how do we do it?
So, Mom, first you show everybody how to do it, okay? And then you can judge how we do it.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Well, basically, since
I muted myself. No, just for the record, that is not the comforter in the picture that I saw on the floor. The one that I saw on the floor was like gray cotton, looked like. So probably like a sleepy comforter. This is probably the pretty one that goes over everything.
my bed's already made, the most important thing you have to do is to make sure this top sheet is really pulled in here tightly, because that's going to give you your smooth corner.
And the tuck under.
Then you pull this over, and you make kind of like a triangle.
I remember
with your
that.
top
Wait,
sheet.
don't get started yet.
And then,
I'm getting started. When you make
and then
the
you tuck it
triangle.
under as tightly as you can. But here's the little skill. See this nice corner?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that's as tight as can be. You tuck it in.
And you can keep cookies in
Then
there.
when you sleep, there you go.
And then
So
Mom,
when you
need to
sleep
bounce
in the middle of the
quarters.
night, it doesn't pull out.
All right, we're gonna try it real quick.
Here we
Here's
go.
the first thing.
How do
Look
you
at
do
the
that?
monitor.
Nancy can
David,
see
you're doing
us.
it all wrong.
Okay, so you're gonna look down.
Flip this over. It's easier to do it that way, where you just kind of.
Oh,
And the flowers are still standing.
In our nice
yeah,
little
you get.
corner,
You,
Al.
yes. Oh, Natalie can do it. Even she's got a broken hand, and she still
I
does
had a
it.
father in the military
Oh,
too.
that's true.
Oh, she did. Check it out, Mom. Look at Natalie's. It's quite excellent.
Corner and the tuck.
Yeah. What do you think, Mom?
Oh, perfect.
How's this corner?
And Natalie's is wonderful.
When I
Oh,
get
no,
that,
David, wrong.
we show David's.
I'll come over and make Savannah's bed for her,
David,
Nancy.
come on.
Get this thing.
You've never made a bed in your life, have you?
No, I think that's pretty good. You just kind of.
Wow.
Woo! Total fit.
Nancy, he needs
Oh, well,
Wow. Okay. But so we're not learning about making beds on this, but anyway, I don't want to. I'm not a Today Show fan, so but I do want to hear what is said.
Online. So I think it's something worth considering. Another new update, a lot of you guys, like one of the biggest questions I get is what happened to Annie Guthrie's car. We know that Annie Guthrie, of course, Savannah's sister, that her car was towed from their house by law enforcement early on in the investigation. Now, a reminder, the sheriff has totally cleared everyone in the family, Annie Guthrie, Tommaso, her husband, and said that they have nothing to do with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. But it has been curious where the car is because they towed the car early on and the car still has not been returned. And the latest from the sheriff's office is they're saying the car connected to the Nancy Guthrie investigation is set to be returned to the family soon.
Now, again, the car that left her house today, there was like a white, like smaller SUV with a woman driving it. And then there was the blue car that was Nancy's that pulled out of the garage. That was on JLR live today.
That is what the sheriff's office is saying.
Hi, Christy.
That they still hold a Honda belonging to Annie Guthrie. It is in the process of being returned. A date and time has not yet been confirmed. So why it's taking so long, I don't know. I know a lot of us would think like, oh, like they would just give the car back. Like once they cleared them, why wouldn't you just give the car back? I don't know why it's taking so long, and we've asked about it several times, and we always kind of get the same answer. One thing that I can say is just from past cases that I covered, like when you look back at the Brian Koberger case and the way that they went through his car, and just the way they look through cars when they're investigating. I mean, sometimes they will really tear these cars apart. I mean, take the seats out, take the steering wheel apart, take the gear shifter off, just looking for any kind of evidence or any kind of DNA. I don't know if they did that with Annie Guthrie's car, but if they did, that would have...
That was what I think John DePietro said today. I remember correctly, is that they had taken everything apart just to really look. I don't know what that means either, but I'm good, Christy. Well, not great actually, though. I just got driver just texted me and he is stuck on the highway right now because there was a fatal accident in front of him. He is a semi-truck driver. And so it looks like I am not going to get to watch my show tonight because he is not going to be home for a really long time. He's already been at a standstill for 2 hours. So I'm definitely doing better than him. So prayers for the person that was in this. But it's been raining all day and everything's free. Oh yeah, he's fine. He's just sitting there in the truck, but it's been raining and freezing, and so probably black ice or something like that on the expressway, and somebody's going too fast. And sadly, it happens a lot around this time of year.
Taken time, and it would take time to put it all back together and make sure that it's all okay. So maybe that's the reason that this is taking so long, or maybe there's some other reason that we don't know about, but we do have the latest from the sheriff's office, which is that the car connected to the Nancy Guthrie investigation is set to be returned to the family soon. It is in the process of being returned. A date and time has not yet been confirmed. So process of being returned, I don't really know what.
Well, hello there. Dejection. Ugh. That's not good. Not good at all. I'm glad you're okay. You can sit and you can watch this stuff with us and watch me draw my nails.
What that means, but we'll keep asking questions about it. And I know that's like been one of the main questions I get from you guys. So I will, I'll keep asking about it. The other thing I want to talk about in this episode is there's a couple things, and this is something that's been weighing on me too. Like everyone's like, why is this?
So what happens then?
Nancy Guthrie's story still so big, and why are people so interested in it? There's so many missing people. It's just the celebrity element because of Savannah Guthrie. And yes, of course, the Savannah Guthrie celebrity element is part of it, but I've always thought it has something to do also with people connecting to this because they worry about their own parents and grandparents who are getting older and living alone. And I know that's something that I personally have connected to this story because of, and a lot of my friends have said the same thing. And after I did my last episode about, the possibility of elder abuse and Nancy Guthrie, you can go back and look. I did that one a couple of days ago. A lot of you reached out to me and in the comments too said you should do something where you give, get a professional to give tips about if you have older parents, like what can you do to keep them safe? Should they Uber? What kind of cameras should they have? How do you keep track of the people coming in and out of their house and make sure that.
That's a good idea, Brian. Hey, Matthew, what's up? Okay, so what happens after you're out of your 2-hour convenience hours? I am using a Dremel to get all the old gel off my nails while we watch Brian Enton do his thing so I can live up to my name. Claws and crime. See what I did there? See? How you doing tonight, Matthew?
That they're, not going to hurt them or take advantage of them in some way. So I talked to my good friend Maureen O'Connell. She's the retired FBI agent, my friend who I have on a lot. She's perfect for this because she's dealt with this with people in her family. She also now has a business where she helps people sort of sort through these issues. So I wanted to play you, and she's just real. That's the other great thing about Maureen. I mean, she's not going to just be like, oh, you.
Oh no, I didn't know she was live. I checked before I went live. She wasn't, so she must have snuck on while I was on. It's hard to get timed out in here, but pretty casual Friday in here. We don't talk about politics or religion, because that's the first way to get people like fisticuffs. But although, I mean, sometimes it ends up going there anyway, but you know how it goes. So, oh no, I hope that doesn't happen, driver. I'll be sending good juju your way so you can get home. What did you do, Matthew? It's really hard to get timed out in there, too.
Should do this and blah, 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 blah. So she just tells it like it is. What can people really do? Especially in light of what we know with what happened with Nancy Guthrie. So I wanted to play you this conversation that I had with Maureen. You and I have talked about this. Obviously, the celebrity factor with Savannah Guthrie is one of the reasons a lot of people are interested in this story. But I find maybe even more so people are interested in it because they have loved ones, parents, grandparents who they worry about, who are living alone.
Yes.
And this hits home for them because this is like their worst nightmare.
Absolutely. Like the lady up the street that my husband and I love.
Well, I mean, when you open yourself up, you gotta expect that somebody's gonna go for it. It's not too bad then. 30 minutes, but still, it's a bummer for the person that lost their life, and everybody's stuck on that. And what's that, Christy? Put on bump chain.
And care for so much. She's been telling me she really wants soft serve. She doesn't know where to get it. Everyone's always trying to drag her to Pinkberry, but it's too bitter, whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting her soft serve right now. I'm not going to let a minute go by without trying to do something nice, because she's the same age as Nancy. She's just as sweet as how everyone, describes.
Good night, Matthew. Oh, hey, before you go, did your video ever get back up? I was watching your live about Arctic Fox, and all of a sudden it cut off and I couldn't find you anymore. Did they put it back? Did you get it back up?
And there was something else last week where I told my brother, babe, she's 84 years old. Just make it for her. And he did, and he ran it up to her, So I think everyone's going the extra mile for the older people in their communities, just out of love and respect for Nancy and what her family's going through,
Yeah, and I just wanted to, because I know with your business now, and you advise people and you help people to be safer and stuff. Because so many people watch.
Okay, good. I wanted to watch the rest of it. So, all right. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in.
Watching this, I think, are wondering, like, what can they do? What do you recommend in terms of cameras? Especially because, like, most people can't afford 1 million cameras in the best system. But for what most people could afford, what would you recommend?
Well, I have a camera specialist on my crew, and so he usually does that. But I can tell you that you should have point, tilt, and zoom cameras, and you should be able to have complete coverage. What you really want is to be able to sit in your home and use your phone if you hear a noise. Like, don't open the door, don't go to the window. Have enough.
It's for the over 40 genre, Matthew. Wah, wah, wah.
Coverage with your cameras where you can just see what the threat is from the comfort of your own room. And make sure you lock all your doors and windows every night. Most people don't realize that a lot of offenders get in through the bathroom window. Most people, if you have a window in your bathroom, you always leave it unlocked. And they're just saying, everyone recommends, and the best practices are 100% don't leave any window unsecured or unlocked. Now, most people say no one can get through my bathroom window. That's what they all say. I mean, people can get through really small spaces. Just look at, any type of movie about prison escapes. They're getting through tiny little holes. It's insane.
If you can't.
Yeah, I mean, rats, all they gotta do is be able to get their head through, and if they can get their head through, the rest of their body goes too. Same with criminals.
Do full coverage though, because that could be a lot of cameras you'd have to buy to do full coverage.
Well, not with the PTZs, with the point, tilt, and zoom. They're like little domes, and they can look at, you can have one can do two sides of your house, and you can also point it, or you can pause it and zoom in, and still not lose the coverage of it looking down either side. Or I guess you could just do your front door and your back door.
But you're right. Those ones that zoom, you can cover a lot more area, even if it's just one camera.
And they're not that expensive anymore. And there's a lot of really good and expensive.
Well, that's something after this case I have been thinking about. We've been talking about upgrading our security around our house and just making sure. You think you're safe until you're not. And then... then you're not.
Systems you can get, and you can, Costco I think has 2 sets, but online they've got a ton of these sets. And Nest and Zoom, or Nest and what's the other one? Ring.
Ring, yeah.
They both have a number of different things you can use, but yeah, you also have to have some kind of way to store the footage, because it's not going to help anybody if you just see some footage and then you don't have anything to show police, and police don't have anything to distribute. And
no, I have never heard of that, but I will look it up. I like all types of music. Pretty much every single genre I can find, there's something that I like. Yeah, well, and that's my thought, is just to be so much easier just to know, and especially like if we go out of town, if we have more coverage. And I mean, I live, like I said, I live in Walnut Grove. It's really pretty safe around here, but even here, this was a couple summers ago, there was people leaving like their like screen doors open in their bedrooms even, and they were having guys just walk right in and rob them in the middle of the night. And thank goodness they weren't harmed physically. Yeah, go look it up. Is it easier to see if I do it this way? I'll stretch the chat out. That might be easier to see. Yeah, I don't like it that on YouTube it's 2 separate chats. Yeah, 39 days today. Can you believe that? So over a month. Just, I don't know. Oh, like I said, I was in and out. I had meetings and stuff today. And I did tune in to JLR earlier too, and that one, she's that dark-haired lady with the glasses. She seems to be a medium. She's allegedly a medium. I don't know her. Don't know who she is. But she got really upset when I had tuned in. She was upset with JLR because of something, stuff people were saying in his chat, and he had like 25,000 people in there. I'm thinking, just, who cares? But she was mad that some people were saying stuff to her in the chat, and that he wasn't. I think she was mad that he wasn't doing anything about it or something. And oh, I know, me too. It's just, I thought for sure, and I mean, not that I thought, and I didn't think it was going to be a good outcome from the beginning. I mean, this whole thing was just wow. But yeah, I thought they were going to find her within a week, 2 weeks, and nope. Well, and that's just it. Yeah, you can't control that. I mean, people are going to be people, and it's all interaction. That's the thing that I find funny about when people come in to troll, is that they really don't understand they're helping me. Like, YouTube doesn't care if you say that you don't like my hair, or if you talk about what I'm talking about. YouTube doesn't care. And the more you can, like the other night when that, I can't remember who it was, just kept coming back and back and back and back. You're helping me out. You're showing YouTube you want to talk with me. They don't care what you're saying to me, and yeah, I did too. I just, well, and see, that's what I wonder. That's one of the popular opinions, yeah, is that she was taken to Mexico. And I just, that's the thing that's so weird, is there's been so much like hoodoo flung around in this, that like it's hard to even make an opinion anymore. Literally every single person you talk to has a completely different opinion. And usually by now, on cases like this, there's like a 50-50, or at least maybe, let's say, 3 sides. You know, there's 100 sides on this, and it's just mind-blowing to me.
You know, you have to have something along those lines. But if you practice really good skills on situational awareness, like when you get in your car, don't leave it unlocked while you scroll on your phone for 20 minutes in park, in the garage, you know, just take care of business, close the door behind you.
Okay, you know what? I'm a mom, and sometimes I'm taking that comment a little personally, because sometimes that 20 minutes in the garage, me zoning out, is the only quiet I get all day until bedtime. I'm a boy mom, so I should lock my door or get out of my car. I know, but I identify with that comment.
Have your head on a swivel, and if a bad guy's watching you, let him see that you've got your head on a swivel.
Funny you say that. I do that sometimes when I get home. I'll just sit there for a minute scrolling on my phone for more than 15 minutes.
All your fans are going to be very upset with that, because they keep saying, Brian, take care of yourself. It's so cute.
It's nice. It's very nice. What about though with my grandma? You know, there would be people that would come to the house for different like home healthcare things, and she was living alone at one point. And I remember my dad would always say, like, we got to just stop in randomly, like when they didn't know we were coming. Like, do you have any good recommendations on that front for people who, you know, for kids who are worried about their parents and they have people coming and going from the house?
Exactly. Like, I know he said that just drop in randomly, but like with my mom, if she didn't want company, she'd let you sitting outside. It did not matter who you were. It did not matter if it was 3 degrees out. I mean, I think Nancy was a very sweet, kind lady, but I also think that she's probably a little sassy, you know? I mean...
Well, I would say try to have a situation where it's not different people coming into the house all the time. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's a much better idea to have one person. And if they're just coming in the door, I wouldn't give them a key. I would give them one of those punch key and give them their own entry code, so that every time they go in and then when they leave, you can you can make sure that they lock the door when they leave, and you have a log of.
That is a good idea, having everyone have a separate entry number. I know that was talked about in the Tepe murders. Is that, you know, is that how he got in that night? Was it a code or a door that was one code, you know, on it?
When they're coming, when they're going, that kind of thing. And definitely pop in, or have neighbors or members of the church pop in whenever they want to, so whoever is in there knows that there's a good chance someone might just drop by.
That's a good point too, because then if that person's no longer working there, you can cancel out the code.
Right.
Versus
but they can always make a copy of the key. Yeah.
Right.
Even if it says do not duplicate, because we've had cases where people say, well, they can't because the key says do not duplicate, and criminals don't really follow the rules.
Yeah, and key cutters don't look. They just grab the key, they stick it in, they do their thing. But we had to do that at a salon that I used to work at years ago, because somebody was coming in the middle of the night and having parties and stuff like that, and then they'd lock up, but they'd leave pizza boxes and beer bottles and stuff like that. And what we found out, so my boss gave us each a different code, and she didn't tell everyone why. She just said, here's your new code for the door. That was all she said, handed us a piece of paper with her code on it. And about a week later, one of our young little receptionists got fired because, she was coming up there at night, her and some of her friends, and they were ordering pizza and drinking. I mean, she was like 17, 18 years old, had no idea that, you know, just because she was young, had no idea that they could trace the codes, all that stuff. And yeah, they were even getting into our cabinets and like coloring each other's hair, stuff like that. We'd come in, there'd be bleach all over the place, hair color would be missing, like even snacks. They stole my snacks out of my cupboard, jerks.
Yeah. It's just tough because, you know, you have to trust these people with your loved ones, but then you still have to work. You can't just quit your job and life. I mean, you have to keep working to make it. Puts you in a tough spot. But at some point, I don't know. It's hard because you kind of just have to trust the people, but then you don't.
You don't have to trust them. I mean, you can expect them to do their job, but I wouldn't necessarily trust them. I mean, if my loved one, well, someone like Nancy, she was totally with it, but she was very, very kind. So even if her family tried to instill rules and regs, her go-to move is going to be kindness. And so it would have been really hard to enforce any of these type of rules with her because she's going to do what's worked for her in her whole life. It's
exactly. See, a spicy little old lady that's not going to let anybody come in and tell her what to do. I just can see it, you know? I mean, what way do I spend on with $200? What would I spend $200 on? Honestly, probably my boys. If I had extra $200, I would probably get them some clothes or take them to dinner or something like that. I have a hard time spending money on myself. That's my problem. In fact, my mom used to give me like gift cards for Christmas and stuff like that, and she'd say, "Now you go get yourself something." And she started doing like where she would get them specifically for like Ulta or Victoria's Secret or Bath and Body Works because she knew she gave me a Visa gift card that I'd go out and take the boys to dinner or something like that. Well, and shoot, gas is going up. I'd probably get a tank of gas first too. I saw it was at, and like I said, in Michigan, we've had like probably 350, almost 4 has been the most, but it went way down, and now all of a sudden this week it just shot up. The price was so probably gas too. Exactly.
really hard for people to understand that when they age and as they age, even for me, compared to what I was when I was younger, you know, I just can't do a lot of the things I used to, and I'm not getting any younger. And it's a very difficult mindset. And our minds often stay younger or let us believe that we're younger than we are, even, you know, down to your age. You can't do, and you're not about to do the crazy things you did when you were 22.
Yeah.
It's all
It
part
is
of the
weird
process.
how you start to know. I'm 40 now, and you do start to notice there's like, you know, but with Nancy, even though she was totally with it, some older people, they just get a little more, I don't know if it's more trusting. Like you think about these phone scams.
I did it again. But like he just said, he was talking about, you know, trusting. I thought about that with my mom. Like my mom often, even though she was a very smart, educated woman, she was on top of things. She believed that everyone in the world thought with the same heart that she did. And they just don't. That whatever people say, that's their intention, you know?
Yeah, I had a friend whose grandma got taken on one of those scams. You know, they try to say, oh, your grandson's in trouble and you got to pay the bond. I mean, and these are people who are totally with it too, but I don't know if they just become more gullible in a way.
No, I just had 2 friends of mine who are not even old, and they fell for it because some young man was screaming in the background, and they said, "This, I'm a police officer. Here's an attorney. We're going to throw him into general population unless you come up with $10,000 cash right now. What's your address?" And he gave him their address, and I was like,
and they use your fears against him. They know what a mother's fear is going to be, or a grandmother's fear is going to be.
You know, he said, I could hear my son screaming in the background, but it wasn't his son. I mean,
so what do you do? So how do you
you talk about these things in advance. You learn about scams that are popular. That scam has been around forever and ever. If anyone ever calls you like that, ask what department they're in, say, what's your callback number? Let them give it to you. And then Google that department, whatever police department it is, and watch and see. It's not going to be the same number. And Google the phone number he gave you, and it's probably going to say some kind of scam alert.
Well, I always thought, too, if something like that happened, supposedly the police, you could call your own police department, tell them what was going on, and I'm sure they could probably try to help you through their channels. But, you know, that would be something that would really scare someone, thinking, like you said, that they heard their grandchild in the background screaming or whatever. And
yeah. What about just going back to the caregivers and the people at the house that you know are coming and going? What should you do to screen them?
Background check. We do background checks for a lot of people like that. And, you know, a lot of people do not do background checks. They'll just hire someone based on what a neighbor said. Oh, yeah, she cared for me. Or I see a lot of people on Nextdoor app saying, hey, does anyone have anyone good that can stop by and help my dad with all of his booking and his paying his bills and all this stuff? I was like, you know, red alert, red alert. What are you doing? Yeah, you can maybe get a name that way.
yeah, I saw a post like that in our community page the other day, and I just thought, oh my gosh, you're opening up yourself to have who knows, you know, answer that ad or want to come in to your house. And I know it's hard to find people and people get desperate, but oh my gosh. Some of you were probably in here when I was telling the story about my friend who had an aide, and I walked in one day, and we teach their own. I live in a state where weed is legal, but I still don't think that you should do it, you know, when you're, especially if you've got a job where you're someone's safety and well-being is in your hands, and they need you to be on, you know, on top of things to be able to take care of your loved one. And I walked in one day after she had come back from lunch, and she walked past me and she smelled like a bong. I mean, and I said, I don't care what you do when you go home from work, but you know, you're supposed to be taking care of my friend.
But I just, the one thing I did say was, I really hope you're going to do a comprehensive background check, because giving him his checkbook, all of his credit cards, all that stuff, access to his accounts. I mean, it's someone that can pay all of his bills online. That's what people do all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Looking for the quick fix.
With the people coming and going, though, and sometimes it's like you'll have one nurse or helper, and
same here. I've even got my doctors are on board with it because they saw me be able to stop taking so many medicines that were literally making me sicker than my diagnosis. And You educate yourself. You learn what's. It's like anything else. You learn what type, what strain is good for whatever your ailment is, and but yeah, it's legal for recreational here. So they just changed up a bunch of stuff. Our lawmakers did, where they can't call themselves certain things anymore. I don't know what it is, but.
And then they'll trade that person out because that person's sick or off. It's hard to keep track of everybody.
It is. But if you're with a reputable company, they have insurance, and they have they keep close tabs on a lot of these people. They do background checks because they have to, because they're insured and licensed, and in order to do all that, you have to have these checks and balances in place. So that's actually a much better option
to go with it.
I have to interject here because I do this all the, I've done this with my parents, and they're not.
Oh, I'm confused. Who's that?
Mentally, like, perfect. And they've done, so the scam thing came up with my son, and my dad called us right away. I mean, even though he's not there exactly, because they told him not to call the parents. So that's a trigger for my dad. He'll call your parents. But I wanted to say also, you should need to meet those people, and you need to watch those people. Those cameras aren't just for the people living in the house. If you have parents that aren't, like, mentally there, like somebody, if you need cameras in there, watching them doing what they're doing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll ask you that more. I mean, do you recommend cameras inside the house more?
That was me. I grew up in a house. My dad was a drug and alcohol abuse therapist. But towards the end of his life, he started finding that a lot of his patients were being able to get off really hard things, that it wasn't necessarily a gateway like it had originally been thought of, that it could be very therapeutic and help people with their addictions and things like that. A lot of which happened when, the big crisis, when people were not able to get their prescriptions. I mean, you had a lot of people in pain. They've been made to be addicted to things by their doctors, and then all of a sudden, oh, sorry, no, we can't. Sorry, we can't help you anymore. And no, it's not. It's not, for sure. For sure. It is not van down by the river stuff like it used to be, Sue. That is for sure. And that's something is that I had to, like, educate myself and learn about what those percentages mean, what all those little numbers and everything mean, because I don't want to be Cheech and Chong. I want my pain to go away, and I want to be able to sleep and not have to fill my tummy up every morning on pills instead of peanut butter toast.
Maureen, if you have people coming and going?
Yes. If you have parents that are not cognitively there, so to speak, I would have cameras in the front room or wherever you keep the checkbook or the credit cards or anything like that, and you instruct them that if any and all bill pay or anything to do with any of these accounts will be done from the dining room, and this stuff is never to be removed from here, and we have cameras on here 24/7. Sometimes you just have to put the fear of God in people a little bit before you.
Oh wow, that is scary. Yeah, see, me either.
Just to set strict parameters and stick with them, and then call them once or twice and ask them a question. Hey, I noticed that you had the checkbook and it appeared from the footage that you stepped out of the room with the checkbook, and I wanted to know what was going on with that. And, or even if it's not about the checkbook, even if you say, hey, I noticed my dad was there and there's something on his account. Were you aware of that, or did that happen when you were sitting at just let them know you are watching them.
Smart. Yeah, you seem like you would be good at putting the fear of God in people like that.
Yeah.
I could see you being good at that.
They say that's one of my fortes, yes.
Well, with my friend, we always figured too, if you aren't doing anything wrong, then you don't have to worry. You don't have to complain. The girls usually complain because they put a camera in his room. And the only ones that complained were the ones they were having issues with. So, no harm, no foul, you know?
I don't know why.
As always, I really appreciate Maureen for taking the time to talk with me. We've really gotten to know each other well through the Nancy Guthrie story and through some other ones too. Nick Reiner, I started working with her on, so she's just awesome. And again, I just love how real she is. I think that's why you guys like her too. Because some people you interview, it's like you don't get the real story or what they really think. And Maureen always just speaks from the heart and tells us how she really feels about things. And she was just such an amazing FBI agent before she retired. So appreciate her as always. The last thing I wanted to get to in this episode is this controversy.
I do love her. She is literally my favorite FBI agent. I never thought I'd have a favorite FBI agent, but I do.
Involving the Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, and there's been a lot of controversies, and a lot has come up with him since all of this began. And there were a lot of controversies with him before Nancy Guthrie that I just think most of us didn't know about because we didn't know about politics in Pima County. But the latest thing to come up is there have been questions about his resume, about errors in his resume that popped up on the website, on the Pima County Sheriff's Office website. And this wasn't my reporting. This was a local newspaper called Arizona Central. That's their website. And they published this article that says Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos' work history misrepresented on resume. And according to Arizona Central, they say Nanos' resume posted on the Sheriff's Department website says he worked at the El Paso Police Department until 1984. Records obtained by the Arizona Republic tell a different story. Nanos resigned in lieu of termination from his hometown police department in 1982, 2 years earlier than is stated on his resume, according to records provided by the El Paso Police Department. Again, this is to the Arizona Republic. His decision to step down to avoid being fired followed a long list of disciplinary issues at the department. Records show Nanos had notable successes. They say also, though, he was named Officer of the Year for saving his partner's life. He made headlines for the risky work he did. But there was a series of allegations, including insubordination, excessive force, off-duty gambling, and tardiness that caught up to him, according to the newspaper. So they did this whole expose on it. It seemed to really upset the sheriff because he sent out a whole...
Oh my God, me and that mute button. No, yeah, well, oh my gosh, his history is like craziness. I mean, he's been investigated quite a few times, and he's had quite a few fights versus FBI. And so, yeah, so now this, like, so that's what I'm wondering. Was it just a whoopsie? I put in, the wrong date, or is he trying to hide that? They figured they wouldn't check that there was a lapse in his employment, his law enforcement employment, because I think I'm trying to think. I can't remember what year that was, but I wonder. He's not an honest person. He's had many dust-ups with the FBI and with not agreeing with their investigation style and whatnot.
Statement to all of the media about it, which I'll read you in a second. But he also wrote back, and they included this in their article. The Republic published what it described as an email response to the questions. They basically emailed Nanos asking about these discrepancies in the resume, and then they say he wrote back, "That's your urgent request? You sure you don't want to go back to my high school and ask why I got swats from the principal?" It read, "Good luck with your hit piece." So whether this was really a hit piece, I don't know. I mean, look, I think Nanos is under the spotlight now because of everything going on. And I was just telling one of my buddies this the other day, the case isn't solved. It's been almost 40 days and the case isn't solved. So people are going to be critical of law enforcement and of the sheriff. I mean, that's just how it goes. And I think that's fair. And I think that there have been mistakes made. In terms of these discrepancies, sorry, I'm still getting over my little flu. In terms of the discrepancies with his...
And that's why he doesn't want the press there. That's because they're catching him, because he doesn't get to to fluff everything and make it look good. Oh, absolutely, Sue. Absolutely. Yep. That the mat is still sitting out in front of the house. You'd think that was... Why would you not take the mat? I still don't understand that. That's just ridiculous to me.
His resume. I'll let you guys judge whether that's kind of the hit piece or not. Excuse me. The sheriff responded to all this, and this is the response that we got. The Pima County Sheriff's Department recently identified 2 clerical errors in Sheriff Nanos' publicly posted resume. Both date discrepancies were administrative in nature and were not intended to mislead or misrepresent Sheriff Nanos' work history. For clarity, Sheriff Nanos served with the El Paso Police Department from 1976 to 1982. His service with El Paso PD concluded in 1982, not 1984 as previously stated. Additionally, Sheriff Nanos was promoted to the rank of captain in 2007, not 2009, so they acknowledged the error there. These administrative errors have been corrected. The updated resume can be found, and then they give the website. They say Sheriff Nanos has dedicated more than 4 decades to law enforcement and public service. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to professionalism, accountability, and the safety of the communities he serves as sheriff.
Accountability? Did I hear that right? He said accountability. It says accountability, right? I'm reading that right. Please. Ridiculous.
Of Pima County, he continues to lead the department with experience, integrity, and a clear focus on protecting the residents of Pima County. So that was their official response. I've been trying to get an interview with him, not about like this, or really any of the criticism of him, just about, I wanted an update on the case, especially because I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be here. I mean, I don't have plans to leave right now, but I kind of wanted to try to get one more interview with him before I do leave. And I'm just kind of waiting to see if that will happen. He hasn't responded to me yet. But that's the latest with sort of these sheriff controversies. I just wanted to remind anybody watching that if you have any information about Nancy Guthrie's case, remains active. There's more than $1 million you could get. There's, of course, the $1 million Guthrie family reward. There's a $100,000 FBI reward. So call 1-800-CALL-FBI. And I realize that, you know, and this is creepy to think about, but, you know, whoever did this or people who know who did this might be watching this. And other stories I've covered, people have watched my videos that were the suspects that I found out later. I mean, I've never said this before, but Brian Koberger was watching my videos.
That would be creepy. That would be creepy to know that a serial killer's watching your stuff. I mean, yikes.
And looking at my tweets. And I know that because the people who went through his cell phone sent me the screen grabs and showed me that, which really bothered me. But I guess that's just part of doing this, being a journalist. And I think since I'm really one of the last reporters here covering this, I would, and covering it every day, I would imagine that whoever did this might be watching these videos, or again, someone who knows someone connected to this or whatever. So I just wanted to say again that I hope someone will come forward. You could get $1 million. And I've done episodes before. There are ways, if you're an accomplice, you can work it.
Exactly, Erica, exactly.
Deal, turn someone else in, you know, you save yourself, you get the money. There are all sorts of things here. Or you could just do the right thing for that reason. And I mean, you saw that video of Nancy Guthrie at the beginning of this episode. I mean, how could you not feel terrible about this whole situation? So I just wanted to put that out there again, talk about the reward, the number 1-800-CALL-FBI. There are ways you can stay totally anonymous. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Today is, trying to remind you guys what day it is every day. Today is Wednesday. And I'll keep you guys posted with the latest. I'm going to keep pounding the pavement here in Tucson. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys always for checking out the videos and subscribing. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Oh yeah, I mean I think they will too. I think it's just who knows how long that's going to take. You know, that's the part that I'm wondering about. And the clip that I was watching earlier, they were talking about that there is a type of that there are men out there, and it's men normally that do have like a sickness and not a sickness, but like an attraction towards elderly women. And normally these men are in their 20s, and they are, you know, serial essayers of elderly women. That's their sick fantasy. And it could be something like that. I mean, and hopefully it's not somebody that's doing this in like a serial situation where now they've gotten away with all of this, because they have, as so far. They get braver. You know, what does all of us true crime buffs know? The word escalation. You know, that happens in a lot of these guys. They start out hurting animals, you know, certain types of, usually their mothers are very domineering, things like that. And, well, Ed Gein, he wasn't finding young women, he was finding like older women. Was that because of his mother? Was that, I don't know. It's just sick, you know. It's so sad to think that this lady is still out there. I mean, and honestly, this is horrible to say, but at this point, I would hope that she is gone, because my gosh, can you imagine? What am I doing? Can you imagine, you know, being I'm trying to find myself. No, it's this one. Okay, sorry. I'm playing around. I'm still learning this whole thing with StreamYard and how to find what I'm looking for, how to put stuff up. There we go. Okay, I think I got it for the moment. Let me go over here. I want to know where that, I cannot believe that I did not. Oh, here. This is what I wanted to show. This is what I was talking about earlier. Oops. Let me find it. Right here. This is Play one more time. When people were having a fit about them taking the car, but if it was like a lease or something like that, then once it's been released, they're probably going to take it back. Or and if, let's say we do get her back, let's say absolute magic happens and it's found that she's somewhere down in Mexico, you know. Oh, I didn't think I stink at this. This is why it's even funnier when trolls come in and say that I believe I'm an expert. Literally, I can't even run StreamYard, okay, to get these videos out. So I claim to be an expert at absolutely nothing. So here we go. These are two cars that were spotted at Nancy Guthrie's today. The first one was there was a female driving. I didn't catch when they pulled in. But next came this car pulled out, and then Nancy's car pulled out of the garage with a gentleman in it that JLR believed to be Cameron. And everybody was kind of freaking out, saying, you know, why are they taking her car? Blah, blah, blah. But my thoughts on it are, first of all, if there is some kind of huge miracle and she does come back, I highly doubt she's ever going to be driving again. Number two, no matter what's going on with her, she's not there right now. And if she's got a lease or something like that, then they probably are going to take it and, you know, turn it in or something. I mean, that's what I would imagine, instead of paying for something that's just sitting there. But this is the clip from it. JLR on X. Thank you for catching that, Sue. Look at an air horn on here so you guys can honk at me.
A woman. There's another guy. Dude, that looks like Cameron. There goes the Subaru.
I'll let it play through twice again.
That looked like Cameron.
I have no idea.
That looked like Cameron.
I thought that was.
That looked like Cameron right there.
Always oil your cuticles every night, everyone. You're the doorway to
a woman. A woman. There's another guy. Dude, that looks like Cameron. There goes the Subaru.
Brother.
That looked like Cameron.
I have no idea.
That looked like Cameron.
I thought that was.
That looked like Cameron right there.
And if he was still there, that would make sense. That, you know, maybe he's helping his sister out. You take the car to the dealership, turn it in.
A woman.
A woman. There's
another guy. Dude, that looks like Cameron.
I did.
There goes the Subaru.
I'm wondering. I hope he hasn't been there the whole time.
That looked like Cameron.
I have no idea.
That looked like Cameron.
Having to
that looked like Cameron right there.
Deal with any of this, and I couldn't see who it was in that car. So, no, this is Alex. Everybody's talking about criminal network. That I can never remember the name of his channel, but that's the name of his channel. Yeah, I guess Brian Enton wasn't out there the one day because he got sick. JLR today, his voice sounded a little kind of gravelly, so hopefully he's not getting sick. So sad. Almost reminds me of That driveway looks so perfect. I wonder if she had it like when here we have like road graders that come and then they like mash down the ground up dirt after they go through. I wonder, that's kind of what that looks like to me. And I don't know if that's Annie's car or not. Like I said, I cannot remember what kind of car she had. What is this? Ring footage, 19th of February. That's that same driveway, yeah, that we saw. We saw this. I don't remember any lights coming on in the video that we saw. Yeah, this is already the one that we've already seen this one. These. Because that's the one you can tell they're wearing like a short sleeve shirt with, I think it was you, Truth Warrior, that was saying that we were talking about this. That we saw that with hi Nanny. Well, and that's what I'm wondering, but I don't. And I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm going through probate right now with my mom, and even though I am like the only heir because I'm an only child, it still is a pain. I have to get like the okay to like sell anything, to deal with any bills, anything like that. So I'm wondering. But well, in something like that, they could just say, you know, she's not. Good night, Erica. She could say that, welcome back, Truth Warrior. You know, they could say, you know, she's not around, she's not able to pay the payment, and turn that back in. But I don't know about anything else. But I know for a lot of stuff, I had to have a death certificate. Even to pay the electric bill. And I'm like, what? And she said, yes, because apparently, I don't get people. But apparently this is a thing that people will call up. And she said, people will call up and pay people's bills without permission. And I'm like, why would, like, literally, I'm just going to put it out there. If anyone ever wants to pay my electric bill, you don't need my permission, okay? Go for it. Do it. I just thought that was so silly. But she said in the same turn that people will literally, like, get mad at someone and try to call in and, like, have their power shut off on them. Oh, I was talking about, Sue had said, you know, wondering if maybe the family is, like, liquidating her assets. And, oh no, that stinks. I'm so sorry. Talk to you later, Erica. Have a good one. I have nights like that. Last night we had thunderstorms rolling through and rain, and we did tonight or all day today too. And oh my gosh, even just trying to make calls was horrible. But yeah, no, I had to have a death certificate and a what do you call it? I had to show my paper showing that I was the estate representative just to be able to pay her electric bill. I mean, it was ridiculous. Oh, for the certificate, yeah. And I think it's the same in Michigan because we had those 3 little boys that went missing on Thanksgiving years ago. Their father was supposed to return them home on the Friday after Thanksgiving, and they never showed. And when the mother tried to get a hold of him, he basically just said, they're safe, they're in a better place now or something. And they knew that they've never found the boys, but she finally this last summer was able to get them declared so that she could, have a little bit of closure and get some things done for them that she was trying to do. You can't. I mean, it's hard to have to go through that. Oh, that's so frustrating, Truth Warrior. No worries. I should be ooh, I love Tinkerbell. Yeah, I'll get that together. I'll get something sketched up, and I can't guarantee when I'll do it, but I definitely will do that for you, Erica. I love Tinkerbell. She's cute. And today I went to our farmers market meeting. And so I'm getting ready to get all that stuff done. So I need to start making some inventory, and that stuff really goes well. The cute, the cartoon nails and stuff like that for the younger ones. And what's Mel got going on? Sheesh. Let me see. This is from SF Investigate. They did a screen recording to show some of the capabilities of search and rescue drones and how they could be used in the Nancy Guthrie case. I don't understand why there are not ongoing efforts to search the desert areas in and around Tucson and beyond. I would agree. Let's see.
Do these search efforts for whatever reason, but I thought it might be helpful for people to understand kind of how they can be used. Last week, we did 2 drone searches assisting federal authorities.
No problem, Erica. You're welcome.
And in between those days, I had a couple down
I'll
days.
see you tomorrow,
so
Truth Warrior.
Searched a desert area out where Daniel Robinson is missing in Arizona. And I'm using this as an example because it's very similar terrain to where Nancy Guthrie is missing. And there's a high likelihood that she could have been, unfortunately, dumped out.
Let me just say real quick, filled, and I will do something to them tomorrow night. I haven't decided what color I want them. Pink or French. You know me. So just putting that out there.
Out in open desert. So what we can do with these specialized drones, and these are enterprise drones, these are not regular consumer drones, is we can program them to search or to fly certain search grids and whatnot. So this is actually the flight tracks of a grid that we flew on March 4th last week, and I think it's about 85 or 90 acres if I remember correctly. And so what we do is the drone flies these lines that we define, and then it's straight down imaging what it does is the program calculates how often it takes a photo. So when it's complete, we have imagery of this whole area. And then what we can do is we can actually
good. This is Steve Fisher. and he's showing how to do like, I like this guy. People either love him or hate him. He's a private investigator. He's done search and rescue. He's on a lot. Vinnie Politan has interviewed him a lot, and I think Brian Enton, and who else? From News Nation. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Dark hair. I can't remember his name. Steve Fisher. Yeah, he was on the Kylie Rodney case. He was on the Sebastian Rogers case. I believe he was also on the Riley Strain case.
Build a map out of that, it stitch those together, and then actually search the map, which I'll show you. So this is the lines that it flew, and then what we can do is we put it in a program called Pix4D React, and it actually stitches it all together. So this, see, this is a little different color. Well, let me turn off this layer. Hold on. All right, so this is these are the images. This is that the drone flew, and it stitched them all together. So now from this, we can actually start zooming in, and we can actually go and search through the images that the drone took, and we can start searching.
I think he also did some search stuff on the Dylan Rounds case too, but I am not positive on that, so don't quote me.
For, you know, whatever we're searching for. And, you know, it's very, you know, it's definitely has the ability to pick up, you know, a person or any.
I think he said this was another case that he was doing. He was showing how they can grid it and find her. I don't believe he hasn't been out there yet for this, but he's spoken on it, of like giving suggestions of what he thinks would be better tactics to try and find her.
If you know what color you're looking for, then we can actually have software that'll go in and pixel level detection for certain colors, and they can pick up as little as 1 pixel. But, you know, we're not just looking for people.
He also has a lot of connections, like law enforcement and stuff like that. So he gets into some of these cases and he's I don't know. Like I said, he's not everyone's most favorite, but I like him. I've never seen him really. I think he charges a lot, but I really do think that he cares. He does a very specialized kind of search for people.
We can look for disturbed earth, if a grave's been dug, anything that looks out of place, and we can go through, and this is a way you can, you know, cover 100, you know, acres in no time. And then as a backup, what we have other programs, like this is one that we use called Eagle Eye Scan, and we run all the individual images through a scanner, and it picks up anomalies. So for instance, on this, it went in and scanned all 1,450 images and looked for anomalies, things that.
Well, and that was basically what was happening. Is that he is legit. He's trained. He's certified. He's gone to seminars. He's continually training in this area. So he really is legit. Law enforcement can trust him. He's licensed private investigator. Well, and that's it. And this guy, like I said, he's trusted by law enforcement, so he can get in and he can talk. He was the Sebastian Rogers case. He was one of the people that was in there with some of the classified information, knowing so that he could do further searches and things like that. And one of the things and one of the theories is that he wanted so badly, because people were crowdfunding to make all this money for themselves for covering the case and for causing a huge amount of drama. But I believe they said it was about $15,000 to have ground penetrating radar go through a construction site that was very near his home that was building new build houses, and they believed that he possibly could have fallen, been buried in one of the construction areas, because the morning that he went missing, they didn't shut down the construction site. So here this boy's missing, and they knew that he snuck out in the middle of the night. And one of my thoughts is he could have fallen in there was a bunch of open like manhole covers and things. Or could have been hiding. He could have been, scooped up by a dump truck or something or not a dump truck, but by a backhoe or something, and they never would have even known. It's so loud and everything. And you got a lot of backlash about that. And I thought, my gosh, why wouldn't you? If you're going to pay for somebody to come on and talk horrible, horrible, horrible things about a missing kid's family, then why can't those people all put a GoFundMe up to pay for this radar to see if that child is in this construction site? And and that's just the thing. It's so sad. It was just the 2-year anniversary of him being missing, and he's only a couple months older than my son. He's autistic. And some of the things that they talked about him, that his parents talked about, just reminded me of my son so much. I thought, I hope that if we ever had to go through something like that people would take it seriously and not turn it into, it turned into horrible. It turned into lawsuits. It turned into everything but finding Sebastian Rogers, unfortunately.
Don't fit in with the environment. And then we scan through these and see if there's anything that, stands out to us. So here's an example. Here's a beer bottle, so
sad.
If we can pick up a beer bottle, we can pick up, a human being. And I just don't know why they're not using this and bringing in, search teams, whether it be us or other teams or whatever that.
Because I think this all goes back to Nanos, and Nanos having little man syndrome and not wanting to give up. Because this is the thing. I feel like if he admits and says, listen, I need help. Listen, he has to admit that they screwed this up. And I don't think he wants to do that. I don't think his ego will allow him to do that, even if it means finding Nancy. I think he cares. I think he thinks she's gone, and now there's nothing I can do, and so I'm going to save my rep, and that's it. Because if she's found now, all of the mistakes will come to light. And think about it. Think about if they find her somewhere close, that she was there the whole time. Think about how bad that would look for him. Yeah. I would like to know, because I keep seeing on X a bunch about, vote him out. I keep forgetting to look and see when the next election is.
We'll do this, drone mapping. I think it would be a useful tool to use in her case.
And I thought, and see, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because I believe there are a lot of people that really, really care and want to look and want to find her. And it doesn't matter who her daughter is, and it doesn't matter who. And sadly, because of some of the things that are attached to this, or because of some of the other things that are going on in the news right now, people in here are talking about, does this have to do with Epstein? Does this have to do, one of the things I remember, again, back to the Sebastian Rogers case, I remember it was a law enforcement officer saying, I believe it might have even been the sheriff, but saying, all of these things we can find out after we find him. That what we need to concentrate on right now is finding him. And all the drama and all the stuff can be figured out. The stories, all that can be figured out later on. But right now, it's got to be about finding him. And sadly, it got worse and worse and worse. See, that's what I wonder too. I just feel like she's, you know, what do they say? I mean, that's the thing. When you want to hide something, you put it out in the open. I was saying that to someone else the other day, and then I was watching, I was watching, it was Moonshiners, and that's what he said, because they were putting us still right in downtown. And they said, how do you hide something you don't want anybody to see? You put it in plain sight, because nobody would believe you'd be that bold to. People reporting their interrogation room videos with the son-in-law crying. And see, it's stuff like this. So, I haven't seen this. It's all just... Yeah, right here. Deep in the bowels of Reddit, I read a story. That's true. Like, we just don't know. I mean, I hope that's not what happened. But when people put that out there as fact, it just... What was this? I have no idea. And that's the thing, too, is that there are some bad people that live around there, but oh, this guy, watch out for him. He was the one that started the rumor about the SA and taking bed sheets and things like that. And it wasn't true. It was just him making stuff up. And he was on I love lots of ice in my soda, Erica. I'm running low on ice too. But it was on Ichabod, I think it was, and it was like, oh my gosh, like this guy just yes, Super Detective Chris Roach has apparently deleted his Twitter account after months of confidently spreading rumors and playing internet detective in the Idaho 4 and Guthrie cases. So I didn't remember him from Idaho 4. It seems the gig is finally up. Turns out blocking anyone who points out you don't understand basic law enforcement or legal system only works for so long. Guess he flew a little too close to the sun. Yeah. I mean, that's just... This is Captain Kev, man. He's just redoing. Oh, this. So, the rain we got last night. This is Grand Rapids. Look at this. Now, this is on the west side of the state. Thank goodness we didn't get this much. We got quite a bit, but unfortunately, when we got all of our rain, our water treatment plant ended up somehow having something. I don't know if their power went out or what happened, but they dumped something like 10,000 gallons of sewage water into the Flint River. So if it wasn't nasty enough before, yeah. So this is Grand Rapids. And I have walked these beautiful corners. It's actually a very beautiful area when it's not flooded. You go down there for art prize and things like that every year. So that was, and just FYI, driver for life that's in here, my mod and my lovey-dovey, made in the USA, that's him on Twitter. So
have you heard? I think it's awesome. Lisa Morris says. Well, Lisa Morris, we'll see if the Cajun Navy actually searches.
All one of them?
They got the go.
And his BMW. Is that the same, right? The same one, right? The BMW guy.
Yeah. Some people like them though. Some people like the Cajun Navy. You know, I'm not a particular fan of them.
Neither, but don't forget, it's like we've only seen one of them. I haven't seen the crew yet.
That's my question. Whatever happened to the Cajun Navy? I thought they were supposed to come out and do a big search. Oh, I know that same thing. You jinx yourself, Truth Warrior. Poor guy, he's stuck on the expressway still. There was a fatal accident in front of him. He was at a standstill for 2 hours. Oh, okay. Well, and see, like that, they are trained searchers. They have, again, people have their own opinions about them. I don't know. If you could really get them out there to search and to use all of their... Well, that's what, yeah, I was asking about that too. There's Royal Cajun Navy and there's United Cajun Navy. And I think it was the Royal Cajun Navy that were actually out searching for that Sebastian Rogers. I think, if I remember correctly, I thought there was 2 different ones. Oh, that stinks. That stinks. Well, they were the ones that were talking all that stuff about JLR, putting him out there, and that's what I said that a few weeks ago. Like, what about EquiSearch? Like, they're one of the, I believe that was who found that Rebecca Park up in the Manistee Forest up here.
I don't even know who the guy is, but it just seems kind of strange, you know.
Ken Dog says, where were you, JLR? I was scared you got kidnapped.
Yeah, we were worried about you this morning, man. Someone was there. People were texting me.
I'll have to peek and see.
Like, I'm your keeper. Where's JLR? 2 minutes.
Per CNN, Lisa Moore says, the Cajun Navy said they got the clear to come look for Nancy.
Get the hell out of here.
Have you heard? I think it's awesome. Lisa Moore says. Well, Lisa Morris, we'll see if the Cajun Navy actually searches.
All one of them?
They got the go.
In his BMW?
Yeah, the guy with the beard, yeah. Sheriff Bananas, I like that. I know that was a typo, but that's funny, Erica. Sheriff No News.
Is that the same, right? The same one, right? The BMW guy?
Yeah. Some people like them though. Some people like the Cajun Navy. You know, I'm not a particular fan of them.
Neither, but don't forget, it's like we've only seen one of them. I haven't seen the crew yet. But yeah, I don't want to speak that up. I don't even know who the guy is.
Well, if I remember correctly, they didn't get that. They were one of the reasons why he dipped out of the Sebastian Rogers case early on, because they kind of got into it with them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're letting the whole town search for. They just want him found. And I don't know if you were here earlier though, but I read something this morning that said that they did find footprints in the snow on the ice underneath that bridge. So chances are he fell through and that was it. It's either going to be that or they're going to find him one of those plow piles on the side of the road. Like maybe he was walking and they didn't even see him and it just blew him over. Okay, yeah. And see, he had issues, and I believe the parents of Sebastian had issues with them too, if I remember correctly. Oh, that is so funny. Poor Alex. He's gonna go down for this, and he wasn't even around.
But it just seems kind of strange, you know.
Ken Dog says, where were you, JLR? I was scared you got kidnapped.
Yeah, we were worried about you this morning, man. Someone was there. People were texting me like I'm your keeper. Where's JLR? 2 minutes.
Per CNN, Lisa Moore says the Cajun Navy said they got the clear to come.
Yeah, that was the other morning. I was actually looking for. I was surprised. I thought he went home or something because he's usually the first one out there. But Let's see, is this her?
In a 2013 episode of The Today Show. It was a segment in which Savannah Guthrie was interviewing her mom, the mom live in her home in Tucson, Arizona, Savannah live on the Today Show set in New York. It was a lighthearted segment about how to make your bed.
We already
Apparently, Nancy.
3 a.m. there or whatever.
Tightly, because that's going to give you your smooth
And the
corner.
tuck under.
Then you pull this over, and you make kind of like a triangle.
I remember that. Thanks for coming on the show. I know it's early there.
Nice corner.
Yeah.
You want
Okay, so I'm gonna pause this. You were talking about this earlier. So, on the right side of the bed over here, like this is where they were showing in that picture that the slider door, if her bedroom is still the same, I mean, it's 2013, it could be completely switched around, who knows, but that's where it looked like you could see a comforter down and the rug. And I thought what it looked like to me is like if a comforter fell off the end of the bed, you know, when you're laying there. I don't know if it'll see if this video will show anything more on the room.
to make sure that's as tight as can be. Okay. Tuck it in.
And you can keep cookies in
Then
there.
when you sleep, there you go.
And then
So when you sleep in the middle of the night, it doesn't pull out.
All right.
That's because
Oh, there.
for
That's
David,
all
this
right.
would be
He's
a
pulling
toy
it up.
bed.
That's good.
That's
There
a
you
positive.
Mom, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Thanks for coming on the show. I know
What
it's
is
early
this
there.
Honey,
Thank
it's
you,
really
Nancy.
early.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yeah, that was like 3 a.m. her time. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So what's interesting about that clip is you can see where she slept every night, and you can see exactly what this abductor must have walked into. I mean, does anybody's mother dramatically overhaul their bedroom when they're in their 80s, 70s? I mean, that was what?
My mom's bedroom, her bed was in the same place it was. We moved in that house in 1989, and she died this year, and her bed was in exactly the same spot as it was when we moved in 1989.
13 years ago. So Nancy Guthrie would have been 70.
Exactly.
About 70. Whatever. She may or may not have, but the point is simply you can see right into her bedroom and generally the way it was and the way it was set up, and she lives in the same house. And what you're seeing for the listening audience.
Well, my mom always said, well, it just works. It works that way. That's why I keep it that way, because it works.
Is a bed it looks like it's a king, might be a queen at the smallest. And right next to it, you can see the side table with a small lamp and some books stacked there, and maybe a foot and a half off of that is a window leading right into her bedroom. So she clearly had a window leading outside that would have taken you right into Nancy's bedroom, which suggests, I mean, I don't know, actually. I guess I shouldn't say whether it's on the first floor. I think the whole house is a ranch. So it would have been directly to the outside of the home and possibly accessible. We don't know how the intruder walked in. We know that the back door was reportedly found open and that there was reportedly forced entry. The cops are not confirming that.
Well, that would make sense to have a window on the front side. Well, I thought, though, there was a sliding door because there's that little patio there off of her bedroom. And that was the patio that said that she liked to go out there and read books and sit in the sun, and it was completely enclosed. But there's a slider that goes, and then the pool is all back there, so that would make sense.
Yeah, but that was Ashley Banfield reporting early on. And we know that we saw an intruder mess with the front door and at least consider trying to go through that way. But so you see then you see a small bookcase, like maybe a 2-shelf bookcase that's low, would kind of fit underneath the window. And
I don't make my bed either, but I'm not the last one to get out of it, though. Usually driver's the last one to get out of it. So I get up at the crack of dawn to get the kids off to school, and then he usually gets up at like around 9 because he has to leave by like 9:30 to get on his first run. So I don't have to make the bed. He has to do it every morning.
what looked to me like a VCR or DVD player, again, this is 2013, underneath it. And so here's why I think this is interesting, because we had an alleged kidnapper note early on in the Nancy Guthrie scandal claiming they knew exactly where she kept her Apple Watch, and they had described something inside Nancy's bedroom that led some, according to Harvey Levin, Sheriff Harvey, as Zach Peter calls him. Harvey's saying that they were taking these alleged ransom notes very seriously, and that the police had reportedly spun their wheels quite a bit on these notes.
So if they'd already, if this bedroom was seen on national TV, and you know they said something in there, if it was the same, that isn't proof. You know, I mean, if she literally kept everything the same, like most older women do, they might know, and so that wasn't proof of that being a true ransom note.
Notes. Did those people behind that note see this segment? Because you could describe, I could go right now and write a very convincing kidnap note on Nancy Guthrie. I could describe the inside of that room to a T. And if you didn't know that the Today Show had aired that footage in 2013, you would be very convinced that I had been inside Nancy Guthrie's bedroom, and I never have been, right? I could describe.
I'm not sure either. I just know I had seen, it was a layout of the house, and it had said that that was her bedroom at the front. It showed the bedroom, it showed the slider, the window. But again, it was just something that I saw on X. So again, like you said, speculation, total speculation.
Describe the brown carpeting. I could describe the tan bedspread. I could describe the ornate head of the bed, where it's sort of wooden and it's got 4 arches and an intricate design. I could describe the lamp right next to the bed, which is sort of princess style, old.
Or the pictures up above, yeah. I mean, describe her bed. She's not going to get, that's probably the bed that her and her husband had, the headboard, whatever. She's not going to get a new one.
Fashioned, the DVD player, the window right there with some sheer white curtains. I mean, I could convince you. So this is a crazy piece of tape to surface. We found it, and I wonder whether the authorities are even aware that this was broadcast publicly. This is the thing, you guys. I mentioned this to you, but having been at the Today Show for a short time, they do really lean on you to overshare. You know, they leaned on me to overshare. It's not born out of nefarious intent. They want the audience to feel like they know you, and I get that, but you have to be really careful. Like, I know I think all of the Today Show hosts show their children and their faces on TV. Certainly Savannah does. Hoda.
Which is crazy to me. I mean, I'm nobody special, and I'm so diligent about making sure that my boys are not on camera, that I'm not live when they're around, you know, just because you just don't know who's watching. You don't.
And it's very dangerous. It's dangerous. The mom is a different story. I mean, I showed my mom too. Because prior to this, nobody ever thought their mom could be potentially endangered. You know, it was just, This is a whole new kind of crime. But to actually go into the bedroom and show off like the most intimate area of her mom's life may have given somebody some sort of way of manipulating either the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department by being able to say you knew what it looked like, or potentially giving you a roadmap for what you would encounter once you got into that bedroom if you were a bad guy willing to do some homework. That's just speculation. We don't know whether that's what's happened, but it's a shock.
Again, like I said, look at the Tempe murders. That guy sat there and stewed for 10 years before he finally did something about his anger.
Shocking thing to see, because all this time, these past, 6 weeks, 39 days, I think we're at now, we've been talking about how she was taken out of her bed and out of her bedroom in the middle of the night, and now we see exactly what that would have looked like, and there's something very eerie about it. It just makes me want to pray for Nancy Guthrie even harder. This poor woman. There she was, more vibrant, 13 years ago, as we all were 13 years ago. And, standing on her own 2 feet, looking not like a young woman, but younger than when she was taken. And you picture her more feeble and in that bed, as any 84-year-old would be, scared out of her mind as somebody came into that small room and grabbed her. It's awful. international disputes, inflation.
Can't even imagine. Just yikes. Let's see what.
So this is my window that I'm getting ready in the morning, and I saw him out there. So I couldn't make out his face. He was in kind of street clothes, not shoes that you'd walk in, and he had a baseball hat really low, and he was kind of hunched over, and he was kind of looking around, and he just didn't fit. And he wasn't going terribly quickly like a normal person that's getting exercise. He was kind of going slowly, and when he walked by this street, he really took a long look at it. So this is my window that I'm getting ready in the morning.
What do you make of this description? And I know it's kind of vague, and some people are like, oh, you know, it's just a strange guy, whatever. But when you live in a neighborhood that's this quiet, I think, where you literally know everyone and strangers don't really come in, you really do notice things out of the ordinary.
Absolutely. I agree. I believed her 100%. I would, if you talk to her again, instead of just saying, what did he look like? Just be more specific. Like, tell me about, like, did he have a big head, a little head? So go from head to toe. Could you see his hands? Did he have gloves on? But did he seem to have a big nose? Can you remember? Could you see that? Were his ears sticking out? Could you see his hair at all? Or did he under that baseball cap? Or did he have a hood on over that? But I absolutely agree with her. And there's another component besides seeing someone that looks out of place, and that is knowing something's weird with this guy. And that's what she also reported. And then ask what type of clothes. Were his clothes tight fitting? Were they loose? How was he wearing jeans or pants? And what about his shoes? Did they have any bright colored stripes on them? Did you notice the soles of the shoes? Like sometimes they're bright green or tan or caramel colored. And, what about his hands? Did he have gloves on? Were they in his pockets? That kind of thing. And just get a better description. Well, I'm sure that's what law enforcement is doing with her anyways.
What do you make of this description? And I know it's kind of
loose. How was he wearing jeans or pants? And what about his shoes? Did they have any bright colored stripes on them? Did you notice the soles of the shoes? Like sometimes they're bright green or tan or caramel colored. And, what about his hands? Did he have gloves on? Were they in his pockets? That kind of thing. And just get a better description. Well, I'm sure that's what law enforcement is doing with her anyways, if they haven't already.
And the fact that
Or send Maple after him.
Oh my gosh.
Is that the dog's name, Maple?
Yeah, her doodle was so.
The dog was so
yeah,
cute.
I know. It's a really good dog. And she always walks the dog. So I kind of got to know the dog. Yeah, really, really, really nice people. Just genuinely nice people.
You could tell.
Yeah, they really are. Her and her husband. And, they've got kids and stuff. But yeah, and she was saying that she thinks that was around January 11th. It may have been January 11th, but she knew it was right around then because that's around her birthday. And we keep going back to this January 11th date because the FBI was asking other neighbors for video from January 11th. So what do you think that means? Like, do you think that her story to the FBI is what?
That's right. January 11th was one of the second dates that they came out to ask about. I've forgotten about that. Hi, Doug. How you doing?
Cause them to ask other neighbors for video, or do you think there's something else the FBI knows?
That was my first thought, but then the more I thought about it, the more I thought her data point just added to the first one. So when tips and leads are coming in and everything, and you say, oh, this guy, this guy with a hoodie was here walking, then you have someone else come in that's totally just, from a different place and adds another data point and it just pushes someone up the rungs of the ladder, getting them more and more attention. So in this particular instance, I think she just added to that data point, and that someone, because she didn't say January 11th. She said it was somewhere right around my birthday. So that could be a date range of a week. Someone told them January 11th, this is what we saw. And maybe someone took a grainy photo of this person, and everyone agrees that that person does not belong in this neighborhood.
Well, you know who's in your neighborhood all the time, who's not. Especially those people, because they're out walking around. And don't know what that is. Oh, that's back to her. Legend sighting. Oh boy, here we go. Oh yeah, this was it. So that lady, apparently she had a couple people come and question her, but now it's come out that these weren't actually FBI agents. Oh, I've been doing like every other day. We've got a lot of stuff going on right now. But so I've been doing like every other day, and I think I did a couple of them I did a little bit early. But yeah, tonight you got to catch me late. Driver is stuck on the expressway. There was a fatal accident. Someone was ejected on the expressway, and so he came in a little while ago and said he'd been at a standstill for 2 hours, and so he's not having a good night. But I was trying to stay up for when he came home, but I don't think I'm gonna make it if he's much longer, because I am getting tired. But I will be back on tomorrow night. We already watched that. Oh yeah, these were the tracks. This is from February 10th. But I remember them. They're bringing them up again. These little 2 tracks. And then there's the shirt. But that shirt, that was the one that we found out that was used so that the Border Patrol canines could get her scent and try and track her. Let's see. Oh, some of the tornadoes. So Union City here had a deadly tornado go through. Or not Union City, Three Rivers. Union City got pummeled too. So spring has already, we don't usually have tornadoes this early. Oh, see, this thing, all these little things being stuck in the middle of everything, and in the dirt. So you can't tell me he's bothering anybody. What's this?
Oh, we got somebody here. I gotta let you go.
Okay.
Maybach.
Good day.
Maybach. Somebody's here in a Maybach. Thank you, Lori. Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news. Maybach has arrived. Maybach music. Maybach music. We got a Maybach. Up. Whoa.
I hate that every time I click it. Let me go and get the mail. Okay. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Somebody just said watching the cactus grow. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Hi, Rebecca. Jennifer Coffindorfer. Tracks the trash. Oh, maybe. Like a trash bin. But usually those be spread out more. I don't know. Oh yeah, this was from earlier. That's the video. Yeah. But this picture makes more sense now because the one that I saw earlier in the clip was flipped. They probably flipped it for like copyright or something, but oh Betty. You can't put Betty and JLR on the same live stream. We don't do that. So yeah, that's. I always thought this was interesting, this experiment where the babies won't walk over. They know. But oh, here. But again, who knows if that's. This looks. If you look closely at it, it looks like it doesn't. It almost looks like a drawing or a painting, so. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I was thinking, I'm wondering if, like, we were wondering, is that, like, maybe it's a lease or something, they're going to turn in the car, or, oh, no, Truth Warrior. Oh, bummer. That is so frustrating. I think I'm going to have to get a new TV in our family room because for whatever reason, whenever I'm right in the middle of watching something that I really like, it restarts itself or it freezes. And it's one of those Amazon TVs. Oh my gosh, don't ever get an Amazon Fire TV. Get a Fire Stick if you want to use that. Do not get the Amazon Fire TV. It's a total jerk. Total jerk. But yeah, that's pretty much. No, I missed the drunk lady. I saw the drunk guy the other day. He was interesting. Because he came back. The one that was blaming Walter Nash. Did he? When did you talk to him? Tell him get it together, Doug. James, is that his name? Okay. Because I've been running, I haven't been able to like watch. I've just been like grabbing chunks of videos, and I mean there hasn't been any new news, so it's pretty easy to catch up during the day, but yeah, exactly. Commercial.
Hello, Stacy.
Hi, JLR. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Was I trying to reach you earlier and it wasn't working right?
Yeah, the phone wasn't ringing for some reason. I'm not sure why.
That was my end. I think I was in a dead zone.
That's okay.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for all you do. I just wanted to give the listeners a little bit of insight. I've been listening to you off and on. First time I ever heard of you, I hate to say, was through this Nancy Guthrie case. It's just so insane. But I'm with State Lot's organization, actually started this foundation, and we work with trafficking individuals, and of course we work the missing
Are you gonna go,
persons,
Doug?
kidnapping, all of that. Been doing this for 11 years. So I just wanted to give a little insight. The reason why, first of all, that this case is so weird is because
Is this from today?
there's
This is from today, right?
1% chance of this type of a situation happening. And the reason why I say that is because normally when it's your typical burglary, kidnapping, just missing persons situation, typically what happens is there's a trail with that. You've got a trail, like you've got items stolen from the home. You have with the missing persons, you have different items that are missing from the home that goes along with that person a lot of times. And then with the kidnapping, typically you see points of entry that were broken into, and then it just goes on from there. There's literally over a 100-page assessment that we have to do.
I'll be boots at home. Live stream,
The reason
guys.
why I'm saying this is a less than 1% case here is because I did catch part of what Dr. Q said, and after talking to our investigators here and people on our team, they are 100% positive that this is a parasocial event that we're looking at, which is again less than a 1% chance of that happening.
So this is like just the rarity of rarities here going on.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's definitely targeted. And as far as the family, okay, let me give you some insight. With our teams, when our teams go out and we get involved, the first people we look at, of course, is the family. Well, we take vehicles, we take, do the whole work over of the home, their offices, storage spaces, whatever it is that they have, we do a whole work over of everything. So when we take the vehicles, this is the difference, especially with an elderly person. This is one of the things I wanted to clarify. If we take the vehicle of a family member, the DNA of that victim is going to be in that family member's car. It's a given. If they're close to them, if they've ridden with them, then that DNA is going to be in that car. Now, it goes a step further because if it's an elderly person, like for instance my dad, he's got thin blood, he's nicked himself in my car before, and his blood has been in my vehicle. So what happens is she's probably maybe cut herself, done something in their vehicle. They probably found some of her blood in that vehicle. So then you go into phase 2. And what happens there is they send this car into deeper forensics. And what happens is they literally take all the seats out. Everything that can come out of that vehicle has to come out. And now this is a process that takes weeks, sometimes months, just this process alone, because they have to evaluate the carpet fibers. They have to sometimes they pull the carpet up out of the vehicles because they're trying to determine exactly how much blood is in that vehicle, how much sanders, fibers, any type of materials.
Well, and that's something that I have read a few times, is that Detective Cross had said is that they are taking that it will take a while for her to get her car back because they've probably taken it literally apart, every single piece almost.
That look suspicious or that are not suspicious, and what is the context or the amount of those materials in that vehicle. So for instance, if someone was murdered, somebody in the family murdered an individual, which we have had this happen several times, the amount of blood in the vehicle was not conducive with, I just accidentally cut myself in your vehicle. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I had heard too, and that's why it's taking so long. It's still being put back together.
Yes.
So with that being said, with them having sent that car back to be repaired and put back together, and I know Nancy Grace confirmed that car was sent to a repair shop to be repaired, I can 100% assure you the family is not involved. Because anytime we have had a family that was involved in a crime and we we had evidence in the vehicle, what have you. That vehicle was never returned to that family.
Never.
It was not never.
They got to keep it through the course of the investigation, right, or to the trial, right? Basically.
That is, yes, that is 100%. So I can assure you that the family has been cleared, being that none of the vehicles are being kept under investigation. They're being, the one that was, kept is back in repairs. It's being repaired, and just to clear up with that too, the amount of extensive work that goes into tearing the vehicles apart, it takes twice as long to put them back together. We've had families go without their vehicles for up to 5 to 6 months.
Whoa.
Wow.
Right.
So this is not unusual then, when somebody gets a car taken for 30 days, 35 days.
No.
They probably had to take it to a dealership to be put back together.
If you could see the extensive work that goes into investigating a family's vehicle, imagine everything that's in your car that can come out is pulled out, and then it goes to forensics and it has to be processed. Seats, if there's seat covers, seats, the carpet, the floor mats, anything and everything that was in that car, even if it's personal items, everything has to come out and be investigated.
This is a good chat. So, 1%. What do we got going on here? Like, what who in the heck is this? Who would do this? What else can you add? And tell me about your organization. Is all over Louisiana?
Yes, we're across several states, but it was founded in Louisiana.
Yeah, I don't think it came through Truth. I don't see it either. I scrolled up to see if I could copy and paste it.
And another thing too I wanted to bring up is that the reason why the family is not speaking, and again,
She's having major Wi-Fi trouble tonight, so that might be why.
I talked to our investigators here and team. I just had a briefing with them earlier today and asked them their thoughts, and they all said that the reason why, and I agree with them.
Oh yeah, I do have it.
The family's not talking.
Want me to just put it in the chat?
They're not in the media. Is because, like again, this is a less than 1% chance that this happens. But this parasocial, these people, they're not your normal people. These are people with delusional disorders, or schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorders, borderline personality disorders, narcissistic personality disorders. They're not just parasocial. They have other disorders and could have multiple other disorders that go along with this. And so what that means is they get off on, and I hate to put it that way, but I'm just going to put it out there. They get off on any kind of attention that they would receive. So the family, in other words, in order for this person to make another move, they have to be isolated out. They have to be shut out from all intention, all involvement, all conversation, everything, because they're going to try to make a next move in order to get the family's attention again. So does that make sense what I'm saying?
It does, yeah. But what happens if they don't get the attention? What happens, if, the family's not giving this person attention, then what?
If the family's not giving the person attention,
That
they're
show?
going to act on that. Because the whole reason why this person took Nancy was strictly because he has an obsession.
You're welcome.
Just completely obsessed with Savannah Guthrie. He is convinced in his mind he has a relationship with this woman. That's how sick this disorder is. I mean, it's just really, really sick. So
You're very welcome. I don't know why that is. YouTube's been stinky lately about blocking stuff.
They are together. They're a couple. So the reason why he took her was because he wanted interaction with her.
And you think this is about Savannah? You think this is about Savannah?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever heard of a...
See, that's one of the things that's just gnawing at me is that big homecoming that she had. And was it someone local that has been pining after her, obsessed with her, whatever? And when she came home and they didn't get the attention that they wanted from her, that they thought that they would, did then it become, all right, I'm going to hurt you like nobody else has hurt you before, and I'm going to take your mother. I'm going to let you know what it's like to feel like you've lost the love of your life or whatever. That just... And I know I watch too many Netflix series, but that just keeps in the back of my mind.
Kate, have you ever heard of a case that you said you've dealt with these cases out there, a lot of cases? Have you ever heard of a case similar with somebody doing this based off of, someone's obsession?
And to me, that they just took her to hurt her and to go dump her somewhere, because that's even worse than just leaving her there, is to then have her, the fear and the worry and the almost degradation of being found in a state where you've been gone for a while versus the shock of finding someone murdered. I mean, I don't know. I just...
Someone and just does this to someone?
Yeah, one of our investigators has. He's known, it was years ago. He's known about it. He was one of the ones that was speaking up this morning in this meeting, most, more than all the others. And he stated that this is textbook. Like this is pretty much textbook.
Well, I mean, that doesn't fit if the ransom notes are real, but they haven't mentioned the ransom notes since. They haven't mentioned ransom. They have, everybody's gone home. I would think if the ransom notes were still in the cards, I don't think Savannah would have gone home. And I think that there'd be much more, I think they were just a hoax. I think it was just people screwing around with Harvey Levin, and exactly, yeah, that's what I think too. And I mean, they have to take them seriously, just in case, but that's why I think, like I said, that plausible that it is somebody that was obsessed with Savannah, and this person would have never even had to have contacted her. Or just build this relationship in their head that they had with her.
And so that's why he was
I
able
don't
to
know.
come out and say that, they asked the family.
I guess one of the other reasons why I think that these ransom notes were a hoax is because they were offered the money plus way more money than they even asked for. And so if they kept asking, they finally said, yes, we'll give it to you. Like, them, I feel like we would have heard something by now. Or there would have been something further in the case if they were actually real. Because at this point, officially in Michigan, it's day 40 because it's past midnight. Usually, statistically, with every expert that's talked about kidnapping, if ransom is true, then we would have had some kind of resolution by now. Yeah, the guy in California, yeah.
Because the family was all over social media, all over the news, all over everywhere, trying to get attention and trying to get this, their loved one, attention brought on to their loved one or whatever. But then they told them, do not contact anymore, have no more contact, do not do anything else, because we want this person to make a move. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So this person ended up trying to reach out again, and it enabled law enforcement to be able to track him.
Do you think Nancy is still alive?
No, I don't.
You
There's
don't?
Very slim chance. No, there's a very slim chance that she is, unfortunately.
Okay.
I don't feel
Yes.
that she is.
I was sitting there rolling around it, like read my mind. I'm rolling around in my head. What's his name? What's his name?
Find this person.
Okay, so like I said, we have when a case happens, and we deal mostly with trafficked children, but we go through the whole, like I said, missing persons and that sort of thing. But trust me when I tell you, our investigation, when it first comes in our door, we have a 100-page checklist, literally a 100-page checklist that we have to go through to start narrowing down. And underneath that 100-page checklist, it's literally bullet point after bullet point after bullet point. And it takes, I can't tell you the countless amount of hours. I mean, you're figuring, just like, for instance, what I rescued, one of the organizations that we deal with, their field operations, they
Ooh,
join
really?
forces with law enforcement. They have the ESC K9 program, cyber program. It's all these different programs. And what I mean by ESC is electronic storage detection with K9s. They do it with K9s. And what they do that's a whole other section in that 100-page document. So what happens is, what they're going to have to do to track him down is they're going to have to do some tracking through some data. It's going to have to be some cell phone tracking.
I normally do too. I have had the past month or so like this brain fog stuff going on where I cannot get the information from my brain out to my mouth. I don't know what's going on. I've got a lot of stress going on. I think that's what it is. So hopefully when some of it's let up a little bit, I'll be back to my, like, what my friends usually call me the Rain Man of crime, because I remember like every detail about something that I'm following. But yeah, exactly. It's like, why aren't my words working? My brain won't brain.
They're gonna get him through the car, some kind of car.
Me too. Notebooks upon notebooks.
But I will say this about the Nest camera. The older Nest cameras, which is what I'm assuming that Nancy Guthrie has, there's something called Nest Aware, and that's what you have if you have a subscription. She did not. So without that Nest Aware subscription, she's only going to get a snapshot.
My true crime twin.
Of a preview snapshot of motion from a video. You're not going to get a video if you do not have if you don't have the actual Nest Aware subscription. So what happens is she gets an alert on her phone. Whoever gets alerts on their phone, that alert is only good for 3 hours, JLR. After that, it's gone in the wind. The only thing she knows is that there was motion at a camera. She probably thought it was a wild animal.
But so I'm just making sure that I can, like, am I understanding this correctly? Where they found that footage was in the cloud. It wasn't on her devices, right? My notebook's in the other room.
Have you reached out to the Guthrie? Are you willing to work with the Guthrie family? Is that something you're willing to do? Your organization? What's the name of your organization?
It's Save Lives Foundation.
All right, have you?
I know that's what takes me so long. Like if I do it, if I'm not on live, it gets done in like half an hour. Boom, I'm done. But you stop and talking. Okay, that's what I thought.
Reached out to the Guthrie. Are you willing to work with them to try to find the perp?
Yeah, we are. We are willing, and not only that, my neighbor is one of the higher ups with the Cajun Navy, and they have reached out numerous times and can't get anywhere. So, you know, I haven't reached out because I know the other organizations around here have reached out, and they're not getting any. They're not getting anywhere with anybody. So we can, of course, you know, try to reach out, and I'll be glad to give any kind of help, service, you know, whatever that we can. Our team will be glad to jump on board and help. It's just a matter that nobody seems to be looking for help from the outside. And with that said, JLR, I'm convinced that the reason why is because the FBI is, you know, going through that 100-page list that they're going through. But I really think the FBI is closer, and I don't mean that this is going to be cracked in the next, you know, 3 months or whatever. I hate to say it like that, but what I'm saying is it could be. It could very well be.
Good night, Rebecca. Have a good one.
The FBI isn't allowing
Thanks for
other
stopping
people to come
in.
or isn't entertaining it, neither is the sheriff's office, is because they have 1,000% more information than they're telling us. I can promise you that. Because like our investigative team, when I call and talk to families,
Oh, and if you missed it, if you're still here, my last live, I think it was, I did cover Trenton Massey, so we went over some of the stuff that I found out. So if you are interested in that, have a peek at it, hon. Good night.
Gotcha.
My question is, so this sounds great, and I trust that the FBI is doing what they're supposed to do, but what good does it do them not what good does it do them, but how much does it harm them they didn't get the chance to do any of their magic until much later than day one.
Well-known medium from the Massachusetts area.
Good. I had a big theater event last night, but feeling good. How about you?
Still grinding it out. It's still out here at the scene
is
out
the
here. We were talking.
The one was in the front, one was in the back, and then I feel like
No, that's not the one. There was that lady that let me see. Trying to find. Find the spot. Let's see.
and I do believe.
Is this the one? Is it the lady that sounds like
How
me?
can you live with somebody, be married to him, sleep in the same bed, and not know anything? No suspicions or nothing.
What about if they're not involved? And they're sleeping in the same bed and they're not involved.
That's true too. But I got a good feeling about Tomas and
I like seeing that cross.
I keep going back to that.
Yeah, well, Luke hasn't been publicly cleared by the sheriff, though he kind of almost publicly cleared it by saying we're moving on from them. We don't know what moving on means. I guess moving on and somebody else. But he didn't do the same public clearing on Luke and Carlos as he did on family members of the Guthries or the Guthrie family.
I don't think Carlos has anything to do with it. I think he's innocent.
Part of me wonders if they're using this case to be able to get something on other cases.
Before she even did the reading. So she said she is the sweetest woman with the sweet. The dead are communicating.
Trying to find.
Truck.
I can't find it. Frustration station. I can't find it. That's not all. Oh, was that the one with the dark hair? She was actually there that today. I saw something. She was mad at JLR's chat. Yeah, yep, I did see this. They drove off. We watched it earlier. I think it was when you fell out of Signal. But yeah, because she was on the phone with her brother. Oh, then I'm not thinking of the same one. The one that I caught earlier. She had dark short hair, and she was on the phone with her brother. She said her brother was like an investigator or something like that. And she's been there before, though. And she was the one that kept saying that she felt Nancy's body there. She came back a couple days ago, actually. I remember her coming on, saying that she felt Nancy there, and then she thought that somebody had moved her. And, which I don't know how in the world anybody would have moved her. There's been people, crawling all over that property since it came out on the news. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this lady was local, I think. And She ended up getting mad because they got attacked by a hummingbird. Apparently that's some kind of sign when like hummingbirds like go after you. But yeah, she got attacked by a hummingbird. And yes. That's, I think it was Linda. Yeah, a hummingbird. It came and like dove at her, and then it dove at JLR, and then it took off. And all these people were saying like, "Oh, that's a bad sign. That means you're supposed to get out of there." And then she got angry at, who is the one that it starts with an M? Is it Misty? The one, I think she's called JLR a couple of times. I think she's actually like sent him stuff. Right, yeah, hummingbirds are usually so like sweet and like tiny and just pretty in nature, That's it. Maybe it was Nancy saying, "Get out of here, weirdo." Yeah, well, that lady was mad at Misty because I don't know what they were saying, but she was mad about what people were saying in the chat. Yeah. And she kept like when they were trying to talk to chat and stuff, she kept interrupting, and she was on the phone with her brother, and I think JLR was getting a little frustrated. I saw a clip of him too from the other night when that some man had called in, and I don't know what he was talking about, because when I watched it, he wasn't talking about anything in the Guthrie case. He was talking about, I don't even know what he was talking about. And DLR finally ended up putting him on mute and setting the phone down and talking to chat. And you could hear the guy say, "Did you mute me? Oh my God, did you mute me?" And it was hilarious. No, it's actually not it's not what comes as a cold case yet, but she's dead, but they still have to find her, even if she's dead. You have to prove someone's dead so that her family can close up her life. But yeah, I don't know what she was talking about. She's had some stories. She's I don't know. And she said she talked to, I thought she was her brother, and you're some kind of investigator. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that have to do with anything? Is he psychic too? That's the thing. I mean, it brings out, stuff like this brings out so many, like, different types of people. I mean, there's that one lady in chat that was mad because she'd had a dream, and she called the FBI tip line and told them about her dream, and they didn't call her back. And I'm like, they're probably not gonna call you back. I mean, although at this point, dreams are probably just as good of anything, at least that we know of, but I think they really, really, I mean, they can't tell us everything, because anything we know, the bad guys know. So it's now getting down to more of like the forensic stuff. If they're not going to find her with searchers, then it's going to be more, like I said, that familial DNA, fingerprints, whatever they found in the house. And I'm sorry, but who was it? Was it Harvey Levin that said that they'd run out of tips? As many people as I see talking in chats and different things during the day saying that they called me, there's no way they've run out of tips yet. No, I'm talking about a lady that was in here. It wasn't Maureen. Yeah, no, that was a lady that was in here talking because she was mad. And I'm like, well, if they won't call me back, they don't want to find her. And I'm like, well, they can't. We're just drink, Oh, it's okay. And that was it. She wasn't like, she was just a regular person. She wasn't like what do you call it? Like a YouTube psychic or anything like that. She was just said that she'd had a dream, so she called them. And I'm thinking, that's, or she means well, but it's just not. Can you imagine how many of those kind of calls they have to comb through? I can't imagine. No. That's just it. And even people calling up saying that they had psychic readings or predictions. I don't know who is real and who's not. I don't know if that's, how are they going to know? They don't know if someone's really telling the truth, that they really have that ability, that they're seeing something or not, and usually anytime that I have seen that used, it can't be used in a court of law. They still have to go through the same channels of getting warrants and things like that to search places. But it's usually like a last ditch effort, yeah. Oh, that barrel. Well, and that's it. But just someone calling off the street, just saying, hey, they're not going to know that. They're not going to know if you're for real or not, or if you're somebody just trying to get attention, or, there are people out there that are snake oil salesmen, and the same as the guys, if that ransom was a hoax, so many con people that just want to be, not even money, but there's so many people that just want to be part of something like this, or they and maybe they really themselves do believe that that's what is happening. But I remember with Kylie Rodney, I used to watch this girl, and I'm not going to say names because I want you guys watch whoever you want to watch this, but make your own decision. But she had done readings every day that this girl was missing. And one of the last readings that she had given was about her being basically getting sick from, and passing away from alcohol poisoning, and that her friends, and she named her friends, put her in the back of her own car and put her in this parking garage that was either being built or had been built and had stopped because of, I don't know, COVID or something like that. I don't know, whatever. She sounded spot on. Even that she was given details she was giving, and then really talking about how someone's going to find her because, and that they went and moved her because they went to go check, and that the smell was so obnoxious that they had to move her, and all this stuff. And it sounded like something that could have been a possibility. But meanwhile, she's pointing her finger at these 18-year-old kids. And it was maybe less than a week later when Adventures with Purpose went in, dove and found her 50 feet off of the shoreline in the water in her car, where everybody had automatically thought that she would be anyway, but for whatever reason. And I thought sheriffs had divers out there. I don't know how they missed it, because and there was a drone somebody flew a drone over and thought they saw the top of the car, and it was dismissed. When Adventures with Purpose went out there, they ended up finding her in like 10 minutes. But I remember thinking that I was newer to YouTube and definitely newer to watching like anyone that was like a medium that streamed online. Now, I've met people in my life that I believe have that ability. Absolutely. But like you said, they've proven it to me, and that's how I became to believe them. But I just remember being like really shocked because I thought, I really believed what she was saying because it seemed plausible. But then I thought, what if her family was reading that, this horrible story about their little girl that was missing? What if, so it goes back to how we have to be so careful too, what we put out there. And you don't know if somebody is real until they prove it to you, until either, like with this, the case was with Kylie, the case was solved, they figured out what happened to her, and it was over. And what surprised me is I went back and looked at this girl, and she had an even bigger following, and I thought, wow, like, it doesn't matter to some people if someone's wrong. I mean, I'm not saying that somebody has to be 100% right all the time. I don't think that's possible. But I remember that. And every 5 minutes she was asking for super chats and for, she had her Cash App thing scrolling at the bottom. And I mean, to each her own. But I remember just thinking, wow, that she didn't even have to be right to get people to follow her. Sorry. I know this probably drives some people nuts too. I am literally addicted to those cinnamon buttons. Like I have to go back to the dollar store and get another bag. But I just remember that really bothered me because the story that she told, and maybe she did see it, but there wasn't one even iota of fact about it. She was fine with just putting that out there, and that just, there was so much drama that followed around that case too, though. So much. And then what I was amazed about that case, though, especially being that it was so full of teenagers, there was literally like no pictures of that party that night. I mean, there were. We know there had to be because kids are on their phones 24/7 taking selfies. But I was just shocked that for whatever reason or however they did it, they were able to keep all of those kids, like social medias and stuff, and their pictures from that night completely sealed. Nobody ever saw it. So I think there were like 2 or 3 that got leaked out. But then there was a bunch of drama about that because it was from some guy that claimed to be the uncle of one of the kids that was at the party, but didn't want to say who, and blah blah blah. So all right. Well, on that note, it is after 1 o'clock in the morning, in my neck of the woods. So I want to thank everybody for coming in and hanging out with us tonight and doing nails and talking about all the stuff. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to come back and I haven't decided what color I want them on them yet. So I'll do that and we'll do some updates and 111. I know I'm not going to make it to 1, 2, 3, 4 tonight. I got to crash, but it still means something. But yeah, so I'll come back and do that tomorrow and just check and see if anything new pops up. We'll go over that, and if not, like I said, I've got some of those little like shorts. Oh yeah. See, girl, I'm tired. I gotta go to bed. I'm losing my mind today. But yeah, so we'll go over that stuff and figure out something cool for my nails. And I've got a really cool, I think it's really cool. I don't know if you'll think it's really cool, but another one of my Crimecast episodes that I can play that while I do the nail stuff, so that I don't have to keep stopping and starting and stuff like that. But it's one that has to do with DNA and with 10 years later, someone getting busted for a crime because their DNA happened to show up somewhere. So it happened to show up at another crime, and they thought they'd gotten away with it. And when they committed got caught committing a secondary crime years later, ended up getting busted for the first crime because their DNA was flagged. Because I think he got busted for a felony, so he had to give a sample to the prison, and boom. So, and some of you will know who this guy is. Actually, he's been in some movies. So, all right, you guys, everyone have a great night and a great Thursday, and I'll see you later. Peace, love, and claws, y'all. Good night.